Hey everybody, this is Mike with the CatchAll back for another episode. This time I have Chuck Gilroy. He is a business owner here in Selah. He is the owner of Gimme Guns out here in Selah, a local gun shop. And we're going to kind of get into it with him and let him talk about himself and go from there. All right.
How you guys doing today? My name's Chuck, like he said. I own Gimme Guns right as you come into Selah off of North 1st Street, right next to the Selah Police Department.
And how long you owned that business there?
Going on 11 years.
11 years. Nice. What was it before Gimme Guns?
Before I was in it, there was another gun shop called Ace Arms. And before that, it was a garage for a car.
A garage for a car. So it's come a long way from having a car in there to having
gun stores.
Yeah. Freedom seeds and stuff.
Right.
So, cool. And you're from Selah?
Yep.
Born
40 years.
Born Yakima, raised in, graduate from Selah?
Yep. No 2.
02. Nice. And then my mom and your mom know each other. They worked together at Matson's long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time. I remember going to Selah was a closed campus school, so I used to call my mom and have her excuse me for lunch, and then I'd go down and hang out with her at Matson, and of course I would see your mom because they were always in there together.
If we would have had cell phones in school, I would have got out of school so much because my dad at one point in high school was like, Charlie, you sound just like me. Just call yourself in sick. So I would have been like, it would be really weird when we were in school picking up a school phone and calling the office.
Right. Yeah, I had a cell phone because I graduated in 07. I had a cell phone probably my junior year, but I had to go buy it myself.
I had a pager.
Ooh. I actually
Then I had to find a phone.
You're right. Well, they had, I guess it was a little more common to find I guess it's more like the early 2000s, so payphones and stuff.
Yeah, payphones when I was a kid are pretty prevalent.
Yeah. But now you can't even find them.
No.
Not anywhere.
I haven't been able to find a payphone in Yakima since the early 2000s.
Yeah. They might have them at a bus stop or something, but I've never been to the bus stop.
Well, the bus stop in Yakima is now a Mexican taco joint. I think something like that across the street from the convention center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be the Greyhound station when I was a kid.
Oh, now it's a taco place.
The Greyhound still stops there.
Yeah.
But there's no station.
Huh. So it's just like a stop.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Cool place to stop, get some tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah.
Love tacos.
Especially if you're not from out of town.
I still love tacos.
I like tacos.
The nice thing about where we live, I can have any version of tacos I want. I can have legit Hispanic tacos.
Mm-hmm.
I can have white man tacos.
Yeah.
I can have a mix of tacos.
Yeah, if you go to Yakima, you get legit tacos. You stay here in Selah, well, no Caparel. They have white people tacos. They're kind of authentic.
My little restaurant down by Burger Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be legit Mexican food.
So I used to going there. I still have never been there when it was my little restaurant, but before then there was a place called Mr. Tamal.
Yeah.
And I used to go there all the fucking time. And then those people just picked up and left one day.
That is really common in Selah.
Yeah.
We get cool little things in Selah and you're like, I'm going to go there. 4 months later, gone.
Yeah. I used to go there all the time. I can't remember the gal's name, but it was her and her husband owned it. And then there was another gal that worked in there, older lady. And they had fresh tamales all the time. And I used to get food all the fucking time there. But I went there one day and they were closed. And I was like, oh, must be just a random day that, they're a business. They can close kind of whenever they want. Sure. But then it was a whole week and then 2 weeks and then 4 weeks. And then the sign was gone. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck happened? And I don't know what happened. And I hope those people are doing great.
There's been so many little restaurants that have came into Selah that I'm like, oh, I need to go there. I've heard of that place. It's delicious. And then I finally get the time to go and they're gone.
Right.
Before the Wagon Wheel was in here, there was a barbecue joint.
Oh, yeah.
And he was only there for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it took me that long to finally go there.
Yeah.
And that's why they're gone, is because everybody in Selah, it takes them 3 months. Business can't survive 3 months with no business.
You're right. Well, and in Selah, you got those people that are day oneers, and they'll go there for a couple of weeks, but then they're after that, they're like, oh, I'm on to the next big thing or, whatever. And you have your like loyal people that go there once and they're like, oh, this is immaculate. I've been here a bunch of times. Or I like their food or whatever. I want to support these guys, and they're there all the time.
Yeah.
What's that new place down by your work or your business, the outskirts?
Yeah.
So that just opened up maybe a year ago.
Year and a half.
Yeah. And I have a friend named Tyler who goes there like every week.
It's good. It's not bad.
I have still yet to be there.
I've only been there because I got a gift certificate.
Yeah.
For my wedding.
Yeah. Was it pretty good?
Yeah. I had a French dip.
Oh,
probably one of the better French dips I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
They have good food. I don't drink anymore, so that doesn't appeal to me. Right. But it's so expensive to eat out anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, just going to like McDonald's or fucking Taco Bell or whatever. Everything's just so expensive nowadays.
A shout out for my buddy Dan that owns the Rooster. Yeah. I can go to the Rooster and eat for half the money of the outskirts and have really good food too.
I've heard nothing but good things about the Rooster's food.
Yeah,
especially like their prime rib and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have a lot of good options for any barbecue around here, so to have one in Selah is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's one thing we are lacking here in Yakima is the barbecue. Like we have like Dickie's and you have like what's that, Famous Dave's, and I think you have like Miss D's or something downtown.
Miss D's ain't bad.
It's not bad, but when I lived in Idaho, when I lived in Post Falls, there was a place, I can't remember what it was called, but it was off Exit 5 and this little barbecue joint. And they had fantastic barbecue. And I haven't found anything like that around here since. And if there's any place that anybody knows about that's kind of a hidden gem, fucking reach out and let me know. Because I'm always down for some good ass barbecue. So I have to make my own.
What is it? Porter's down in Tri-Cities.
Oh.
That's probably my favorite barbecue joint in a 2-hour drive that I'm aware of.
Check that. Porter's. I'm going to check that out.
It's pretty good.
Because I think my wifey and I were talking about maybe traveling the Tri-Cities in the near future. I'll probably seek that place out and try it.
I only go to Tri-Cities for 2 things. Tattoos and barbecue.
Tattoos and barbecue.
And usually at the same time.
Getting tattooed on your back while you're eating barbecue or what?
Usually I go after, like especially the one on my back. It took so long. I was just exhausted. I needed food.
Yeah. Is it done? The back?
Yeah.
How long did that take altogether?
2 5-hour sessions.
Damn. What do you got? Do you mind?
It's a Spartan's helmet.
Okay.
It says Moam Blade. Goes all the way across my shoulder blades.
Oh wow. Sweet.
It's big.
It's dope. Is it all color or black and white?
It's color.
Oh, shit. Well,
it's black and white with red.
Oh, okay. But still.
It's color.
Yeah, it's color. I mean, technically, black and white is color.
Black is color. I mean, people argue it's a shade, but whatever.
Yeah, and then white's with the lack of color or something. Yeah, whatever. It's all color, man. That's why it's in the color crayon box.
Right.
Because it's a color, damn it.
Man, when I was a kid, there was not white.
No.
You could not get white color crayons.
We used to have, so like when I was a kid in elementary school, they'd have like a big box of like crayons for like the whole class, and the only ones that were never used were white.
Yeah, well, your paper's typically white. So.
Usually, I mean, if you have like a black construction paper or a dark blue or something, white is perfect on it. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, they're like, "Here's white paper." It's like, okay,
I didn't use that white crayon.
Cool, thanks.
I could see using white for a base on top of another color to fade in. Browns or something.
Yeah, just kind of give it a kind of a hue or something.
A couple years ago, my youngest son, he asked me, "Dad, do we have any light brown crayons?" Mm-hmm. And I go, "Yeah, you're holding it in your hand. Don't push so damn hard."
Yeah. I mean, the crayons, obviously they're one color, but if, depending on the pressure, obviously.
Yeah, darker and lighter.
Yeah, and you can just kind of like darken it up and then kind of lighten it up as you color into a white or whatever. So always fun stuff. My kid really likes to color right now, and he's drawing all the random things right now. And he likes to draw. What was it? Yesterday he was drawing at his grandma's house on the concrete with chalk. He's like, "Dad, I made a new number." I'm like, "That's great, dude. What is it?" He said some random word for it, but it was like
named it too.
Yeah, he named it too, and I was like, man, that's cool. I mean, what does it represent? But he doesn't understand, like,
right?
Because a one is a one,
right?
In any language, one is one thing, So obviously, it's not one. I mean, uno or ichi or whatever it is, depending on the language. But one is one is one is one, regardless of where you're at. Even in the universe. So it's like. I was like, you invented a whole new number? I mean, that's cool. And I love where his imagination and his ideas are at.
Yeah.
Because, that's where innovation comes from.
Right.
So, and I'm hoping that that he continues with doing that kind of stuff. Because
you have to nurture it.
Yeah, we try our best. We don't discourage him like saying like, oh, that's ridiculous. We're like, hey, Bubs, that's cool. What's it called? And like, because, I mean, he's a kid, man. Let him have fun. I thought I was a dinosaur when I was a kid. People were like, you're not a dinosaur. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm a dinosaur, damn it.
I used to be a Power Ranger. I mean.
Oh, I love Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah. Running around with sticks playing Power Rangers as a kid.
Go back to my first episode, man. Pink Ranger was my crush right there.
Sometimes I look back at those and she still is.
She's still a babe. But, yeah, man, I remember Power Rangers still, man.
I hated to love them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to admit I liked watching it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but at the time it was kind of popular, so it wasn't like you were going against the grain.
Right.
It was almost against the grain saying that you didn't like them because so many people did. But obviously you get those cool kids that, they're like, oh, Power Rangers stupid.
I've never been a cool kid.
I like to pretend. I like to pretend. So, all right. So let's kind of get back into it since we went off on a tangent. So you own Gimme Guns, you said, for about 11 years now?
Coming up on 11.
11 up. When is your 11th anniversary?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that much. I might be past it.
You might be past it. So anywhere from in the 10 to 11 year range right now? Okay.
I didn't really think about how long I've been in business until about 3 years ago.
And you're like, oh, shit.
Me and Katie were talking about something, my wife, and I was like, well, yeah, I've been doing that for, holy crap.
Time flies.
I've been doing this a while.
Yeah. And your wifey, she helps you out at the shop?
No.
She does her own thing, huh?
Yeah, she does. She cleans houses.
Okay.
And does crafts for people.
Nice. It's fun. Does she enjoy doing it?
Yeah. She's very crafty.
Very crafty.
She could make anything. None of it's useful to me.
Well, my kids, we saw you not that long ago at the little, was it the
flea market?
Flea market on Wednesday.
Yeah, she was selling her wares there.
Yeah,
it's neat stuff.
My kids wanted a couple things, so we bought some stuff.
Women and children love it.
Yeah. A lot of it's like crocheted stuff.
Yeah, men are like, what do I do with that?
Yeah. I don't mind it because I collect. I mean, if you look in here, I collect a bunch of random shit. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, especially if she did licensed type stuff. I mean, obviously. Oh man,
you should. I wish I had a picture of it. She made a 2-foot Christmas Santa Charizard.
Oh, what?
For one of my friends.
It's badass.
It's awesome. Right now, she's working on a good sized. I knew it before I started talking about it. Lucario. For my oldest son.
Lucario?
Yeah, it's his favorite Pokemon.
Okay. Working on it for a gift or something?
Probably Christmas. It was supposed to be birthday, but it's taking longer than...
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
Side projects and things happen, and this comes up and that comes up. Oh, I'm right there with you, man. Look at all that shit up there that's not finished yet.
She forgets she's working on it.
Yeah. Well, life gets away.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen, and then, some things pop up, and then you forget about shit. Especially when it's not a huge priority.
Well, and she likes to new and shiny.
Yeah.
New and shiny.
Yeah.
New and shiny. So
she got that goldfish mentality.
Yeah.
That's okay. My wife would laugh because I'm kind of the same way. I'll start a project and I'll get about, I don't know, halfway through it, 3/4 of the way through it, and then I start a new project.
Yeah. And
it's not because I'm bored with the last project, just something like you said, something new. Let's work on this, and then I put the other one to the side, and then next thing I know, I'm 2 weeks behind on it. I'm like, oh shit, I need to finish this up. But then I'm like, where was I?
The only time I push her on that kind of stuff was when she's making things for people that are paying her. I'm like, I know that these people don't expect you to be done fast, but it's been 2 months. You need to finish it.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't mind waiting for stuff, but yeah.
As long as I go into it knowing I'm going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if I order a Thunder Beast suppressor for a customer, I tell them it'll be 8 months before I see it.
Yeah.
Because
or like a custom holster.
Yeah, it could be a couple months before I see it.
Yeah, or if it's especially something custom, chances are you're not going to see it. I mean, unless it's something super easy, or fairly quick, like someone's engraving a piece of wood for you.
Yeah, that's usually within a week.
Yeah, but if someone's like making custom holster with like certain burnishings or something on it, or engravings on the leather, or like a suppressor, or even like a custom stock for a gun or a paint job or something like that, if we're talking gun stuff, or even anything custom, it's going to take some time,
right?
And that's why they usually have. I mean, anybody that has been in the business long enough knows their turnaround time and an average turnaround time, so they can at least inform the customer a little bit, like, hey, the last couple of things I ordered from these guys took about 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm assuming about a month you'll start seeing stuff. Or I should at least know something within a month.
I have some stuff I tell people, go to this guy. He does a great job, but tell him what you want and then forget about it.
Yeah, because he'll call you.
He'll call you when it's done.
Yeah.
He does great work and he'll stand behind it, but he has a lot going on.
Yeah. Especially, what was that, CCS here in Yakima?
Yeah. Scott's awesome.
Yeah.
His stuff is great.
Oh yeah, I own one of his holsters for my shield.
All the leather on me is CCS. My pistol holster, my belt.
Yeah.
And I had to make another holster for me that holds a magazine, a multi-tool, and a flashlight.
Oh, nice.
And my handcuffs.
Oh, nice.
It's all CCS.
Yeah, the first time I ever bought anything CCS from him wasn't actually from him. They used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to sell stuff at the range.
I think they still do.
They do. And I was looking just for like inside the waistband carry holster for a shield, something that I can, conceal.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, hey, you could buy like one of these, or you could buy one of these. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're local, they're leather, they hold up. And I was like, oh, who's this? He's like, CCS. And I was like, I never heard of them. That's before I, when I was fairly new at doing this stuff. And I held it and it looked real nice. It was a little stiff, but, the leather, it's pretty thick and stuff it's going to be. And I've had that thing for 8-9 years. And besides some minimal wear and tear here and there, local and just normal wear and tear, the thing like fucking brand new.
Well, Scott probably still stand behind it after that long.
Yeah.
Like the belt buckle on my belt has no finish left on it.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to give me a new one.
Yeah.
It's like, you need a new belt buckle. I'm like, no, I don't, Scott. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good that when you find someone that, has pride in their work and stands behind it, because there's a lot of people out there that, once they give you the product, they're
done with you.
Yeah. Thanks for the money. Here's your stuff. See you later. Hit me up if you need something else, but they're not going to but anyways. So owning a gun shop, especially here in Washington State, has probably had some of its challenges. Yeah, I'm assuming.
Jay Inslee can kiss my ass.
Yeah, he can lick my butt if he wants to.
Fergus can drive off a cliff.
Yeah, they can all go fuck themselves. Besides the actual law bullshit that's going on right now, more recently in the last couple of years, is there anything else that's fairly tough about owning like a gun shop?
Oh, I don't think it's any tougher than owning any small business.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a while doing it to really figure out your downtimes and stuff so you don't freak out when you're not making any money.
Yeah. Budgeting and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there's just certain times of the year where...
I'm assuming around Christmas time is pretty popular.
As soon as it starts getting chilly and people go back to staying in their houses, because the Yakima Valley is pretty outdoorsy.
Yeah.
There's lots to do.
Yeah,
especially if you're outdoorsy.
Yeah. Hiking, camping, fishing, floating the river.
Right. If you're not outdoorsy, you have problems because there's not a lot to do here.
Yeah.
No clubs, which is probably best.
Yeah.
When it's nice, it's slow. Yeah. When it's not, it's typically, people are funny. If it's not nice, like wintertime, shopping increases Because they have more time standing in front of computers or sitting in front of computers, seeing stuff they want.
Yeah.
Reading new magazines, whatever, seeing stuff they want.
Yeah.
But it's funny when it rains very much here,
Mm-hmm.
shopping stops.
Huh.
Like I can sit on a real rainy day, nobody will come to the store.
Huh.
And that's always I found that funny. I'm like, come on, you guys, you have to walk 4 feet from your car.
So if you're in Selah and it's raining, stop by Gimme Guns to give Chuck some business because he's probably pulling his hair out. No, you stay pretty busy in there.
Yeah. It's been slow this year.
You always got shit to do. I mean, you got filling out paperwork or filing paperwork or
something to do.
Auditing this or whatever the hell you got to do. Especially when it comes to firearms because there's a lot of red flags, paperwork and stuff you got to do.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I mean, I worked at Weimar, so I know just like the very basic stuff of it. Like filling out paperwork, making sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and all that shit, and submitting the proper paperwork in the correct time frame and all this other shit. So I understand that to that extent. But obviously you
also have the scrutiny of a business on top of that.
Yeah.
Like Weimar or Cabela's, they have their own scrutiny on top of the ATF scrutiny.
Yeah. Yeah, they got someone breathing down your neck when you're filling out paperwork. Which is fine, because if I fuck something up, someone else is there to kind of
catch it.
Hopefully catch it if they know what the fuck they're doing, which when I worked at Weimar, nah. Besides the department manager Barb and myself, and then maybe one other guy, Laro, no one else knew what the fuck they were doing. Like the managers, or like the store managers and assistant store managers, they didn't know what the fuck they were looking at. I had to tell them what they were looking at, and they're supposed to be checking my work. And I'm like, what the hell?
The 4473 that you fill out to buy a gun has all of the instructions on it. Mm-hmm. You just have to want to read it.
Yeah.
And who wants to read it?
No one. No one. I didn't want to read it. We were forced to read it because of the company policy.
Sure.
But the thing is when like Washington State changed it, all the Oregon and Idaho stuff changed their shit too.
Oh.
Yeah. So like even in Idaho, and I believe it's still correct, in Washington State and Oregon, there's a waiting period for pistols and stuff.
Well, Washington's now a waiting period for everything.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But in Idaho, it's not supposed to be that way. But at Weimar, it is. So
that's their policy.
Which is stupid.
What drives me probably the craziest about the new system is the new system is controlled by the Washington State Patrol. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
The system works really good. I don't like that I have to charge people to use it, but it works really good. It comes back in a couple hours, but then the state imposes this 10-day mandatory hold.
Right.
That doesn't count weekends. Doesn't seem to count the day that you started it.
Yeah.
And doesn't seem to count the actual 10th day.
Yeah.
So it's more like 12 days.
Before you can 12 business days.
Yeah, business days before you can take your gun home.
The one that you paid for, you worked, 40 plus hours a week to save up for the firearm that you legally are entitled to own.
We finally get a background check system that works very well.
Yeah.
And then it's still slow because of bureaucrats.
Yeah. Do you guys still use the NICS system at all?
Not at all.
Not at all. It's just the WSP system.
Mm-hmm. They do the NICS check and everything through them.
Wow. I remember before this whole bullshit changed over, because I haven't bought a pistol in a while except for the last one I bought through you.
Yeah.
Because I have a concealed carry here in Selah, it used to be
instant.
You used to be able to take it home right away.
Not no more.
But there was for a while you had to at least wait 1 day, but there was no actual just like 10 business days on pistols. It was just like semi-automatic rifles or something like that for a while, wasn't it?
It used to be there was if you had a CPL, you were exempt from the hold.
Yeah.
And if your background check came back in 5 minutes, you got it back in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and mine, because it's Selah, I would get a phone call the next day saying I could pick up my pistol, usually. Especially at Weimar. I would go in and fill out my paperwork because I bought a couple of guns from Weimar because I got discounts.
Yeah, it used to be...
whenever they called you back, essentially.
Right. Because it used to be 10 business days or when a proceed was given.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's 10 business days from when a proceed is given.
Yeah, because after 10 days, legally through some type of law or whatever, you were able to come pick up your gun whether you're proceeded or not.
Right.
But
that was a funny, stupid Washington thing.
Yeah, because
if I didn't have a proceed as an FFL holder, how am I supposed to explain that I delivered a gun without a completed background check?
Right. And I had people when I worked at Bimart trying to, like, on the 15th day, they're like, hey, you can give me my gun. And I'm like, I know legally I can, because there is a law protecting you and myself. Because if I give you the gun and there's no proceed, there's a law stating you can have it. But if it gets denied, you're supposed to bring that back.
Right.
Whether that's going to happen or not is a totally different story. But our company policy states that we cannot give it to you until there's a proceed.
That makes sense.
Which is great because it helps, saves the company any heartache.
Well, either you or the ATF has to go back and get that gun.
I ain't getting it.
If a denial comes back.
Yeah. And I don't know how many times, I've bought plenty of guns over the years, and, using the NICS system, I do all my I used to do my own background check and just boop, and then green. It would instantly green. I've only had a one-time delay for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I think it was just because it was overloaded.
Probably.
People buying, because it was just during COVID. But after that, I've never had anything delayed. It's always been instant proceed, or, obviously now it's the mandatory wait time, especially here in Washington State. Yeah. But the thing is if I'm an Idaho State member, if I'm an Idaho State resident, I can go 4 hours away, not even 4 hours away, buy a gun, take it home instantly, an AR rifle.
Right.
So just right across the border. They don't have any violent issues or anything like that, and they can take guns right home right away. But for some reason over here, we have all these strict gun laws, and we have drug use, we have gang violence, we have all this homeless population, we have all this shit. But the guns are the issue.
It's the Californians that move up here.
It's Californians, and it's the people that don't like accountability for their own actions. They have to blame something or someone else. Anymore. Scapegoats. There's always scapegoats. It's never their fault. It's someone else's fault.
Or a disorder or something.
Yeah. It's not just someone wanted to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But then the thing is like, even if I was a criminal and I wanted to if I wanted to cause someone violence or harm against them, me going to go try to buy a gun from a legitimate business and getting denied is not going to stop me from doing that. And even if I got approved for some reason, because I haven't had any priors, the 10-day wait period isn't going to change my mind.
Not usually.
Not usually, because it's already been.
If it's a legit rage issue, I could see a cooldown period reducing the chances.
Yeah. Because
the rage doesn't stay up that long.
Yeah.
And you might get rational again and be like, well, that was a dumb idea.
Usually within a few hours.
Right.
But because there's been times
as a whole, the waiting period should go away.
Yeah. Especially 10 days. It's like, oh, you really think this guy this guy cut me off in the middle of a fucking road, and I'm going to, there's a Bimart, I'm going to go over there and buy a gun real quick and come out and shoot him.
If some guy came into the store just in rage ranting about they needed a gun because somebody did something to him, I'm not selling him a gun.
No, and that's where you use your common sense. Is if a guy comes in and actively states that he's buying the gun for someone else, or he shows, or if because it's a strawman thing, or if he shows any type of anger or hatred or anything like that emanating from him, chances are you're going to use your best judgment and say, "Hey, man, I can't sell you a gun today."
Like example, a number of months ago now, I can't tell you exactly how long because I don't remember. But I had a guy come in the store claiming to be Jesus.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Was his name Jesus or like Jesus?
No, he told me we're all Jesus and that I should join him in his holy war.
Okay.
He was
a character.
Interesting.
There's been lots of people over the years claiming that they're the Messiah. In one way, shape, or form, or they know of the Messiah.
We have a pretty good biblical picture of what the Messiah is supposed to look like. Like, not physically, but the way he will act.
He acts the way he carries himself.
So, this guy wasn't Jesus. This guy was nuts.
Yeah. He should have sent him over to the mental hospital up there. Is that still there?
The one up here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We should have sent them. They're like, oh, yeah, that's a good gun shop.
Hospital.
Should be like, there's a good gun shop right up here on top of this hill in this big red building. That place will take care of you. Yeah, just tell them you're Jesus right when you walk in.
He kept telling me he could read my mind. And I was like, well, if you were actually Jesus, sure.
I don't know if Jesus ever claimed to have been psychic.
Well, he does. I mean,
I guess he doesn't necessarily
have to be. In theory, from what we know of Christ being the Lord
and all-knowing.
Yeah, he knows it before I do. You're going to think this. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Well, that's where what is that? There's a whole thing called predetermination in the I guess in the Christianity religions, all the different sects of it, is that there's an idea out there that predetermination, because God's all-knowing and he already knows what you're going to do, you're already predetermined before you're even born whether you're going to go to heaven or hell. But they don't take into account this thing called free will that we have. Mm-hmm. So he's more like a fifth dimensional being that can see all outcomes. He just doesn't know. He may or may not know which path you're going to go to. That's up to you.
And being a God-fearing man, knowing that he made us in his image, and he made Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and wanted us to be pure, mm-hmm. sin-free, and live with him. That's what he wanted. But he already knew we were going to eat the apple and do the things we did.
Mm-hmm. And all the stuff we've done now.
Don't think about that too hard. It'll break your head.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about the past.
Well, I know, but think how crazy it is to create, like, say you made a robot. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing we can create. And you want it to do this, but you gave it free will, mm-hmm. and it does nothing you wanted it to do. And you knew that when you built it, that it wasn't going to do what you wanted, but you built it anyway. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah. Isn't that, it's weird, right? It's weird to think about. But you also got to think, like, I don't want to say, because I don't know the term. I don't, for a lack of a better term, we're almost like an experiment.
Sure.
Obviously he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But I think he was kind of almost, and obviously I don't know. I'm just speculating here, to the best of my ability, that maybe he was making us because he wanted, life and love and all that stuff to prosper and everything. But he made us have free will, just like I give my kid the option to do this or that or whatever. Right. Obviously there's consequences, but it's a learning experience. So basically it's this whole, I guess, experiment that is life since the beginning to the end. Mm-hmm. It's just one big learning experience. Well, and we need to learn it all together. Obviously I don't know your past. You don't know my past.
Sure.
I can tell you things that have happened to me, and I can say, hey, man, don't do that because this will happen. Whether you heed my warning or want to do it yourself and learn from your own experiences.
Or whether I do it, it works out for me.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Exactly. But we're this whole single consciousness that we're all basically one. We're one human kind. Mm-hmm. We're one big family. And we have this huge
family.
We have this huge hatred towards each other.
You ever seen the TV show Shameless? Mm-mm. Oh man, you need to watch it. That's the human condition.
Is it? It's just
inner city white people.
Mm-hmm.
They're broken. It's a great show.
Yeah.
My wife can't watch it because it reminds her of her childhood.
Oh shit. Yeah, we are as a species broken.
Oh yeah.
If you look at any other species on the planet, there's not any other species that actively kills each other out of spite. Because this hyena has more rocks than that hyena. He's going to get his buddies and kill that hyena. That doesn't happen. Nope, or food. Fish or chicken or a cow or anything. That doesn't happen in the animal kingdom. It's just us. So obviously we're special but we need to act like we're fucking special, and not special.
Yeah, not short special.
Yeah, we need to talk. We need to act like we're special because we are.
We are.
We have the ability to better this world or destroy it, like we are now, and it's sad.
I agree.
I mean, we have done a lot of things that are great.
Sure.
We've done a lot of things that are great. You know, we've helped, I don't know, eradicate certain diseases. We've helped, you know, with the longevity of, you know, human life.
Well, you know, one of the biggest thing that people don't think about that increase the longevity of our lives is the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
and the septic systems and treatment plants.
That's what I tell people.
Being able to get our waste away from us is huge.
That's what I tell people all the time. As soon as we came up with antiseptics, like soaps, and basic hygiene practices that we do now, like washing our hands, taking baths or showers regularly. I mean, you don't have to do it every day. Some people do.
Yeah.
You know, with a couple times a week is great, as long as you're not sweating your fucking ass off every day.
As long as you don't stink.
Yeah. And then, you know, brushing your teeth and eating kind of healthily, you're going to live a lot longer than if you know, are cleaning your ass with your hand and then you put your hand in a bag of chips and start eating.
Well, you're
probably going to die quicker.
Back in the medieval times, everybody was right-handed.
Oh, yeah?
Because you wiped your ass with your left. So you weren't doing anything with that hand.
Yeah. That's why they shame everybody with left hands, because it's a poop hand.
Yeah, it was a poop hand.
So all you lefties out there, you're writing with your poop hand. My brother's a lefty.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him he's a pooper.
When they come to the store and they're looking for left-handed rifles, I'm like, oh, you're broken.
You know, I've heard of stories. I don't know how accurate it is, but some like professional snipers use a left-handed rifle.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they just instead of shooting and then taking your hand off the trigger and all that shit and doing it like that, they just
if you had a right-handed rifle on it's not natural, you have to practice it. But if you have it on a bipod, so you're not supporting it, you're usually supporting back here.
Yeah.
At the butt part of the stock, since people can't see me.
Yeah.
You just take that hand and reach over and run it.
Oh yeah.
So you don't take your hand off of it.
Yeah, you could do that. But I've heard that some people
somebody does it
left-handed because it's
anything you can think of, somebody does it.
I'm sure someone's done it.
Any good idea, any bad idea,
any dumb idea,
any perverted idea, it's been done.
Oh, what's that rule online?
It's 86.
Rule 86.
Rule 86 is porn. I think that's the one.
I thought it was it's probably 86. That anything that could have
be porn is porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told that to my wife when we first met. She goes, So I pulled up Disney.
Yeah.
Not appropriateness.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything.
She's like, why would they ruin that? I'm like, I don't know.
It's the human condition. We ruin fucking everything. Anything that's sacred in this world, we have ruined it.
That's good, we just distort it and destroy it.
Yeah. Just because that's who we are. We're perverted.
Right.
We're disgusting, nasty, perverted human beings.
Yes.
Not all of us to that aspect.
Not all of us, not all the time.
Yeah.
There's situations where we're worse than others.
Oh, I joke around, with people or whatever, talk, dirty jokes or stupid, dumb, would never happen scenarios and just make it dirty or whatever. Or, someone will send you a dirty picture of something and you're like, oh, well, that's cool. I miss those. I miss and I don't miss those text threads at the same time.
Like a picture of a guy had his balls and dick tattooed to be a turtle.
I've seen elephant.
I've
seen elephant.
Like that would, when he gets excited, his trunk grows.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I was like, cool. Who is this again?
Ouch. Is whenever I see something like that, I'm like, ouch.
I text back, who are you guys?
Do you have any tattoos, Mike?
I have one.
Yeah.
And I have one on the back. This is when I was probably 20.
Yeah.
I was dating this girl named Donna, and the Om symbol, it's like a 3 with like a little D next to it with a line over it. I was kind of really into that at the time, and I got an outline, real small, maybe like that big. So for those that can't see, maybe like 4 inches across on my back right up here. It's just an outline. So I was dating this girl named Donna, and this girl named Christina, and her boyfriend at the time, I believe his name's John. It's been such a long time. He was a tattoo artist, and he would do her tattoos and his own tattoos. And Donna was like, I want to get a tattoo. And I'm like, well, we're going to Yakima. I don't know how it came about, but we ended up going over to their house, and she got a tattoo on her arm. And then I was going to do a tattoo on my back of that and have it shaded in and all that stuff. Hers took so long that we got to the point where he outlined mine and was like, hey, next time you come back to Yakima, we'll finish it up. Well, before I got the chance to come back and have it finished, they had split up and he had moved. So,
well, on that note, if you're ever looking to have it finished, talk to Jasmine at Parkway Tattoo in Tri-Cities.
Parkway Tattoo in Tri-Cities. Okay.
She's awesome.
Well, I don't know. Because I know tattoos are expensive. He was hooking us up, basically. I don't know. I mean, honestly, 99% of the time, I forget I even have it until someone asks me, like, hey, do you have a tattoo? I'm like, oh, fuck, I do.
Right.
Because I never see it.
I met Katie, my wife, on a cruise ship in the hot tub the first night we were on the boat. And the next day, she asked me when she ran into me what that tattoo was on my back. And I'm like, how on God's earth did you see my tattoo?
Yeah.
It's on my back, and I'd forgot about it.
Yeah.
She goes, you were in the hot tub, dum-dum. Oh, yeah, dum-dum. Yes, got it.
Yeah. Some of those things, especially like on the back or like, say, like maybe if you had something on your neck.
If you don't see them all the time.
If you don't see them all the time, you can almost forget you have them.
Yeah, like Katie's doing sleeves.
Yeah.
Well, of course she knows they're there.
Yeah,
in front of her all the time.
Right there. But if you had something like on your back of your calf or something.
She has one on her back.
Yeah.
That's her dad riding a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool.
She never sees it.
I do, and I'm I'll high five Dad. I'm like, doing it, Dad. And she's like, Charlie.
He's smiling at me. Obviously, he approves.
I moved her down here. It's parting words where she's your problem now. I was like, well, that's bad.
See, these are the kind of jokes I'm talking about. These are fun.
They're not jokes. It's stuff I do. This is my life.
Good shit. Oh man. Yeah. I love fun stuff like this. Talking about just silly, stupid shit that we do as humans.
Here's something stupid. So a guy came into the store. People bring in the weirdest things and either give them to me or trade them to me. And a guy traded me a really nice diver's watch.
Okay.
I don't wear a watch, so I gave it to Oliver.
Yeah.
It's solar powered. It's dead.
Yeah.
Because he never goes outside.
Okay.
So that's not the funny part. The funny part is we go to church and he's talking to one of the guys at church, Tyson, about it. And Tyson's like, well, why don't you get a watch like I have? They're not that expensive and they're kinetic. So they work off your energy. And I started laughing.
Yeah.
And Oliver's like, what's so funny? I'm like, you don't move either.
So don't go outside. You don't move.
Yeah.
You need a regular old battery-powered watch.
Battery-powered watch, kid.
One that you can change once every 3 years. Very low maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, I've had my watch. I don't have it on, but it's just like a cheap Amazon watch I got.
Yeah, that's what Tyson has.
Yeah. I have a cheap Amazon watch I got for like, I think $12. It's camo. I basically only use it for hunting. I mean, I use it all the time, but I got it for hunting because shoot light's a certain time. I got it down to the second.
Sure.
Because I don't want to be having my phone out.
Shining.
Yeah, shining and stuff at, 6 a.m. when it's dark out. Everything can see you. So I'm sitting there and I got one that has like a really low glow. So when you click it, you can barely see it, but it shows enough that you can like, okay, it's go time or we got 2 minutes kind of thing. And the first one, I lost it.
Yeah.
And I would be pissed if it was like a $200 watch, but it was $12. So I bought another one, and I've had that thing for a few years now, and it's got a couple scratches and stuff. And someone the other day was moving something, and they hit it on my hand. They're like, "Oh, bro, I'm so sorry, I hit your watch." I'm like, "Bro, this was $12."
This was $12.
Honestly, I'm surprised it's lasted this long. It's been in water. It's been dropped. It's been hit. You know,
Katie buys dollar store sunglasses because she destroys them or loses them constantly.
Bro, I have probably like 30 pairs of sunglasses. I know where 2 of them are at.
I have 1 pair of very nice Serengetis, and I quit wearing contacts.
Yeah.
So
you never wear them. You might just have to figure out a way to clip it onto your glasses.
They're in my vehicle.
They're there.
Yeah. I'm like, well, that's where they'd be if I needed them.
Yeah.
If I ever wore anything but glasses.
How's your sight?
No, I don't know. I can see you just fine.
Without your glasses?
Oh, poor.
Shit. Poop?
I can't read that bottle of water.
Oh, shit. You're like 2 foot away.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Like, I see a label because I know there's a label there.
Yeah, but you don't know what it says.
No idea.
Damn.
The mountains and everything go away.
It's just one big blob.
Well,
so you need them then.
The only reason I don't wear contacts is I'm cheap.
Well, they're expensive. And they could fuck up your eyes, too.
Well, that money could go towards ammo.
Well, yeah. Or
food.
Yeah.
I like those 2 things more than most things.
Those are my 2 favorite things.
Yes.
Well, besides, food and ammo.
Food and ammo.
Yeah.
The fact I can get food with ammo.
Guns.
Yeah. They're just exponentially more expensive than just ammo.
Yeah, so you just can't shoot or eat for a while, and then you can own a gun.
Yeah. I like when customers come in the store and tell me guns are expensive. I'm like, well, you clearly don't shoot enough.
Yeah.
Because ammo's expensive.
Yeah. Buying the gun itself is a buy once, cry once type situation. Right. Now, if you want to use it...
Ammos cry all the time.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going up. Of course, so is everything else.
Especially since, I have my 300 blackout. Every time I take that thing out shoot, I'm like...
Yeah, in the last few years, I've been buying clones of my guns in 22.
Yeah.
So I can afford to shoot the damn thing. Teach my kids to shoot.
Well, even then, 22 has gone up quite a bit.
So much freaking 22. I don't
care.
I
know, but I'm just saying, like 22. You used to buy a case of it of 1,000 for like
$15.
Maybe sometimes even less.
Me and the boys could probably go shoot 300 rounds a weekend for the next 10 years before I ran out of 22 ammo.
Damn. I don't have a lot of 22 ammo just because I recently, a couple years ago, bought a 22. Bought a Henry bolt action 22 for my kiddo.
Sure.
So it's one of the single shot ones.
Yeah.
It's a stainless barrel with the black stock.
Cool.
I bought it for him just because I was like, you know what? I never had anything like this when I was a kid. I had a BB gun.
I shot a 45 caliber muzzleloader. That's what I grew up shooting.
Damn. I shot a BB gun. I killed one.
I had one of those too. I thought it was fun to pump them like 4 times and then watch the BB travel through the air.
Yeah.
Because it was so slow.
Oh, the old pump ones? Yeah. Yeah, we used to have... I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's a BB gun. Maybe it was a pellet gun. But my cousin Horacio and I went out one day and out in behind my grandparents' house was this field, and I'm sure someone else owned it, or maybe it wasn't owned at the time, but we were allowed to go out there, and they had this old decrepit building and a couple trees next to it. We went out there just to go hunting, as kids. We're just going out there to shoot shit, pop bottle or pop cans or whatever.
Sticks,
and
rocks.
My cousin Horacio sees this bird up in the tree. It smokes that thing, hits it. It doesn't die. It falls, and so he shoots it again up close, to kill it, and then. We take it back to my grandma and grandpa's house. We're, maybe 100 yards away. And my cousin decides to defeather that thing in my grandpa's garden.
Oh.
And then just leaves it there. So we go inside and we're eating lunch. No big deal, nothing. And my grandpa comes in fucking yelling at us in Spanish, mind you. So I don't understand any of it. And he's like, da, 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 da. And he comes up and he whips both of our asses because we left a fucking dead bird in his garden.
I saw something the other day. Somebody's been painting rocks to look like severed fingers and leaving them in pathways.
What the fuck?
I'm like, that's freaking genius. That's awesome. So funny.
That's awesome.
That reminds me of a trick we used to play when I was a kid. We go up camping up White Pass. Doesn't matter what pass.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what road. It's just a fun game.
Somewhere.
People need to do this more. It is a fun game. And it hurts no one. And it's cheap. You have to wait till nighttime. You go buy a purse from Goodwill that has hard handles
Mm-hmm.
and a can of oil so it'll stay standing up. Tie clear string to it or fishing line.
Mm-hmm.
You go back and hide in the trees. And then when cars pull up to get it, you jerk it out of their hands. It's so funny. One time we were doing it. We must have been up 410 because we were catching people coming back from Whistling Jacks.
Mm-hmm.
They're drunk.
Yeah.
They were funny.
Yeah.
We had one little old lady that was tipsy follow the bag all the way up the bank to where we were and made eye contact with us and started laughing and fell down the bank.
Oh, God.
We're like, wow. You didn't realize you're in a cartoon or something because she just kept following the bag that kept walking away from her. It's hilarious.
If you guys were serial killers, she would have been done for.
Right. And then eventually after 4 or 5 people, State Patrol shows up.
Yeah.
And my dumb butt being, I don't know, 10 years old, look around me to see what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured out what we were going to do. They were all gone. My dad, my uncles, my cousins, they're all running back through the forest.
Oh,
they
God.
disappear. I'm like, leave me holding the bag. Literally, I had the string in my hand.
Jesus. That's funny.
Cops didn't care after they figured out what was going on. They thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Of course, that might not be the case anymore.
They might have shot you now. I don't know. There's a lot of cool cops out there still.
In our area, yeah.
Yeah, Selah, Yakima area for the most part, they're all pretty chill.
Be polite and don't flip them shit. And
yeah,
you can almost get away with murder, I guess. I don't know.
I can't remember the cop's name. He's kind of a bigger guy. He works for Selah PD. He used to come into Helms all the time. If I saw him,
Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is awesome.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I was driving up this road right here, Fremont, and I got up here by the intermediate school, and I was going like 30. It's 25. You know? He's at the top of the hill and flips on his lights, pulls me over. I pull in SIS. I'm like, fuck. And he comes up and he goes, hey, you know I pulled you over, right? And I was like, yeah, I was coming up the hill a little too fast. I understand, you know. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I have my pistol right here. I showed him my pistol because it's on my hip. And he's like, oh, I don't really care about that, you know, because, I mean, so they're probably so used to it here in Selah especially. And then he's like, where are you headed? And I was like, oh, I'm headed home. I just live right up the road. And, you know, and he took my shit, made sure I didn't have any warrants and came back. He's like, hey, man, you're cool. You know, if I pull you over again, I'll give you a ticket. Just slow down. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I, you know, have the window rolled down to slight and go, oh, you can hear me. Kind of, you know, the stupid justice people on Facebook or whatever, trying to push the buttons. Yeah. You know, give respect, get respect kind of thing. You know, I understand that you're right to do so, but don't be a fucking dick about it. Well, you know, especially
I think doing that kind of stuff raises flags for the law enforcement officer.
Well, yeah, if someone's acting suspicious or stupid, then I'm going to question them.
What are you doing? Are you trying to hide something?
Yeah, I'm trying to question them.
I don't know what it is about my personality, but whether, I mean, if I'm by myself, well, anymore, especially, I don't get asked if I have a gun or anything because they're like, oh, Chuck, how you doing?
Most people know you.
Yeah, I know a bunch of them. But before I had the gun store and I was carrying, because I've been carrying a gun since I was like 22 years old.
Yeah.
And I'd be in the back of a bus, in the back of a van, and the cop would always lean in and go, and who has a gun? And look right at me like, do I give off an aura that says I have a gun?
The guy that's driving mouth, he has a gun.
Probably. Yeah, like, my buddy back there has a gun.
It's like, oh, okay. He leans in, and you have the gun, right? He's like, fuck. You didn't know this whole time your buddies were just throwing you under the bus.
Right.
Literally and figuratively.
I was driving to Lewiston, Idaho through Dayton and stuff across the middle. And I was running a little behind. And coming out of Dayton, you pull the hill. You start pulling a hill. And at dusk, the deer get dense. I'm on a motorcycle.
Oh, shit.
So I haul an ass through Dayton.
Yeah.
And I get up to I start pulling the hill, and a cop pulls me over because I'm exceeding the speed limit, probably double.
Yeah. Going fairly quick.
Yeah. So I wanted to get up over the top before it starts getting dark.
Yeah.
And He pulls me over and goes, "Why are you in a hurry, son?" I was like, "Well, I don't want to hit a deer." He goes, yeah, I get that. I just totaled the car last summer.
Oh, shit.
Totaled one of the PD cars.
Yeah.
And I go to get it. I'm like, "Do you mind if I get off my bike while you run my stuff?" And he's like, sure. And as I'm getting off my bike and pulling my helmet off, I said, "Oh, and just so you know, I have a CPL and I have a gun on my hip."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "What?" Like he didn't hear me. And I was like, "I have a gun on my hip and I'm legal to carry." He's like, "Okay, don't reach for it." I'm like, "I don't want to get shot."
Yeah.
I have no desire to reach for it.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know
that I have it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to come back and see if my shirt pops up and you're like, "Hey, what do you do?"
Yeah.
And shoot me then too.
Yeah, exactly, because you have a gun on your hip.
Right.
At least he knows prior that if something does pop up, he's like, "Okay, yeah, hey, buddy, get on the ground before you have a chance to reach it."
I'm more likely to back him up than attack him,
Yeah.
in a situation. Last year, I'm part of the Lions Club here in Selah,
Mm-hmm.
and we have foreign exchange students come every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that they were having a get-together with Selah PD.
Oh, okay.
So my store is in the same parking lot, basically, as the police department. And I hear lights. I see lights in the windows, and I whoop, 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 whoop. I run out there, hand on pistol. Is everything okay? And I see a foreign exchange student, one of my Lions people pop up. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. I mean, I know a couple police officers in town. I know Ryan, maybe.
Ryan's awesome.
And Josh.
Hi.
Molyneux. I think that's how you say his name. Molyneux.
Ryan saved me one day.
Ryan's a cool dude. I like Ryan a lot.
I was screwing around at my house. My wife is doing her friends.
Oh, you told me the story, but
toenails.
Tell me again.
And I found a pair of my not fuzzy cuffs, legit handcuffs, and I slapped them on her for funsies.
Yeah, as you do,
being ornery.
Yeah,
and she didn't have a problem with it or nothing. And she's like, "Well, you can take them off now." And I'm like, "I'd love to. I don't know where the key is." and Ryan came down and bailed me out of that situation.
Oh, that's so fucking funny, dude. And that's good shit.
2 days later, I found my other set of handcuffs and my key.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I have my handcuffs. They're just Smith & Wesson handcuffs, nothing fancy. And I have the set of 2 keys, so it's one and then one. And then I found a place online that sells like hiding keys.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one that you can put around your belt loop.
Oh, okay.
It's a little key to if you get stuck, you can
fetch
pop yourself off. There's another one that looks like a shoelace, the little plastic piece of a shoelace. You put it on there, and you can't tell. And then there's another one that you can put like in your wallet. So I bought a couple of those just for funsies.
Yeah.
And I had, I think it was my wife put the handcuffs on me, and I got out of them with that one.
Nice.
It's plastic, but it works.
Right.
So, and I was like, well, shit. Well, the reason why it's plastic is it's undetectable.
Sure.
If they wand you, they're like, woo, woo, oh, there's something metal right here. So they're like, oh, what is this? But if it's plastic, and you're wearing a dark pair of pants or something like that because it's black, you can't really even tell it's on you. So,
words of advice: if you go somewhere that wands you and you still want to carry a knife, use a belt that has a metal belt buckle. Stick knife behind belt buckle.
Except for what, at the airport?
Yeah, don't do that at the airport.
Yeah,
I'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Beginning of this year, I went on a cruise with my wife, and I've been to SeaTac,
mm-hmm.
but I've never flown before that.
Yeah,
I've never been through SeaTac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that body scanner thing's
it's crazy, huh?
Yeah,
they can see your all your shit, bro. They can see your dong and everything.
My lack of a penis.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm right there with you. I wonder how many times they scan somebody and they're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll be right back," and they go in the back and start laughing. I wonder how many times that happens.
I forgot to take something out of one of my backpacks and put it in a tray I was supposed to. I just forgot it was in there.
Yeah,
and he sent that bag back through 3 times,
mm-hmm.
and he's like, "What do you have in this bag?" I'm like, "It's hers, and she packed it.
Yeah.
I put 3 things in it." He goes, "Fine, just go."
Yeah. Well, this is when they started doing the liquid stuff. Like you couldn't
Yeah.
bring certain liquids,
And you only bring so much.
or like it was 2 ounces at a time.
Yeah,
like
it's
of certain
ridiculous.
things. I found out that, and this is when I drank, that the shots of liquor you buy at the grocery store or the grocery stores or whatever, the
Singles.
stores, those are under the legal limit of the 2 ounces per bottle that you can carry onto planes, and they're a lot cheaper than the alcohol you could buy on the plane.
Oh, sure.
So, and they have no issues with you carrying them on the plane. Legally, though, you're not supposed to drink them on the plane because it's like bringing your own liquor into a bar.
Sure.
You're not supposed to.
Sure.
Because there's no way for them to control and see how much you're drinking.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's like when you go on a cruise ship, they won't let you bring your own booze on.
Yeah.
If you go to port and buy booze in like Mexico or something because it's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You have to check it when you come back onto the boat, and you get it when you leave.
Yeah.
Because they won't let you have it in your rooms and stuff.
Yeah, because you might,
you get tossed in your room. They go buy drinks at the bars, and
then over serving you.
Yeah,
something happens.
That is a problem.
Well, then you could fall overboard or some shit. Things happen.
Oh man, I've been on a couple cruises now. There's some funny people on them.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise, mostly because they serve a lot of seafood on there, and I'll die.
I've been on 2 Carnival cruises, and unless I wanted seafood, it was easy not to eat seafood.
Yeah. My allergy's pretty bad, like cross-contamination even.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so like if you had say like a single fryer and they were putting fries and shrimp in the same fryer, I couldn't even eat the fries.
Also, like at the main restaurants that you eat up upstairs, they're just making food.
Yeah. They're
the same types of food every day. They don't change.
Yeah. And
like the Mexican joint don't make fish stuff.
Okay.
Or a pizza joint only makes pizza.
Right.
The Guy Fieri
or whatever.
Yeah. Hamburger deal is one of the restaurants.
Yeah.
There's no fish in that one.
Yeah.
And they're saying all they make there is hamburgers and stuff.
Yeah.
So you'd be safe like that.
Yeah. My only issue would be like, because I've had this happen to me before, is like, say if someone was eating something.
Sure.
And then they touch something without washing their hands, and I happen to touch it, so rub my face or something.
Back in the day of the Spartans, they'd throw you off a cliff.
Yeah. I'm fallible. I'm a I can't remember what they call them, but I'm with the humped guy.
We're all pretty easy to kill. You're easier.
Yeah.
You're just like,
at least I'm not allergic to nuts. I'm glad I'm not allergic to nuts.
Glad your wife isn't allergic to nuts.
I'm glad she isn't either. We would not be having 2 kids right now.
Right.
She's allergic to those kind of nuts. She's gonna hate me for. She's gonna hate both of us.
She's like, no more Chuck coming over and doing podcasts.
She's like, all right, that's the last podcast. You're done. Wrap it up.
I'm trying really hard to stay appropriate.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't give a fuck. This is open expression of whatever you want.
Well, and there's always the, I don't know who will hear this.
Yeah.
And I am, I own a small business.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. I know that there's some people that listen to this, but the thing is like on this podcast, especially like my second episode, my third a little bit, my fourth episode for sure. We have talked about politics, like the LGBTQ shit. We've talked about pedophilia and like leaving the kids alone and shit. So basically, I've already established that type of stuff, like how we feel about that. Like at least my opinion. I have no problem with people coming on with separate opinions and different opinions.
I would bet from knowing you as much as I've got to know you that our opinions on that stuff is probably pretty similar.
We're pretty damn near identical in most situations. So, yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty conspiracy minded as well. So when it comes to certain things, what's
most disturbing about conspiracies in the last 5 or 6 years is they're not conspiracies anymore.
How many of them have come true? Especially with like COVID. Like when COVID first came out, I was actually looking at some of my shit.
Well, during
COVID, I was like, none of this shit's real, guys.
COVID was a great example of, hey, we created a cure for something we made.
Yeah.
Man-made disease. And then man makes a cure for it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more of that in our society than people realize.
Well, it's a problem, reaction, solution situation. It's always the same thing that they always do.
My question is why are we playing with stuff that can kill us like that?
Well, so their argument, say, especially with like with that and with like the nuclear bombs and then like the AI now is like if not us, then someone else.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't mean like when I say why are we playing with that?
You mean like as humans?
As human beings.
Yeah.
Why are we playing with that?
Yeah. I mean, there's the argument that like those diseases are already there. We're just using like a man-made version of it to create some type of like antibody or something for it.
And there's diseases that we've eradicated.
Yeah, sure.
In nature.
Yeah.
But we still have examples of them in storage.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but even though like the natural ones may be eradicated, the ones that we've like injected with people are still out there.
Well, there's diseases and stuff that we haven't experienced that are stuck in ice.
Oh yeah,
and we're starting to experience more and more as our ice caps melt, which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah, well, that's a whole climate change thing. If you believe in climate change,
I really believe like 'cause if you've done your research on the Ice Age and even biblical history, not scientific, because the Bible can be very scientific. Secular science,
yeah,
which is the belief that we've been around for millions of years and all that junk. I guess I'm what you'd call a new earther that believes the Earth biblically has only been around for about 6,000 to 7,000 years, 6,000 to 8,000 years.
Yeah, that's pretty common in like biblical terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can see through history heating and cooling, even in our valley.
Yeah.
So to say that it's all our fault, I think is a misnomer. Are we accelerating it? Sure.
We probably have something to do with it.
Yeah. I'm sure.
But it's not us.
Right. It's going to happen.
It's countries like China and India.
Well,
that are contributing the most.
We're
actually
getting hotter.
Yeah. Getting
hotter causes getting colder. And then we get too cold and we get hot again.
Yeah.
It's part of nature.
Yeah. But the thing is like it happened, you know, depending on your belief
Perception
on history. Yeah. It's happened either for thousands of years or millions of years.
Right. It's happened repeatedly.
Before today.
Before now.
Yeah. So, and even if you believe in some of those it's like theories out there, like have you ever heard of the Younger Dryas? So the Younger Dryas is something happened catastrophically on Earth where everything froze, with it except for like some very small areas where humans survived and fauna and flora all survived or whatever. But then something else happened that basically thawed a lot of these things, like this ice. And that's where in multiple cultures around the world have some type of flood theory. That floods have happened, or flood stories, not flood theory, flood story that has happened. So not only in biblical terms, in Christianity, but in Buddhism and Taoism, and even just in cultures that don't have a religion, they've all talked about a flood that happened.
Here's the crazy thing about all those religions and stuff that have, like, if you believe in the Bible, which I do, I think it's God's word to us. The flood happened. It affected the whole world. And then Noah's kids went out and made all those religions that have those other stories.
Yeah.
They'll experience one thing, just telling it their own way.
Right.
And that's crazy to me. You're talking one man that believed the Lord so much that he built a massive boat to haul everything on. And his kids went out and became everyone else.
Yeah.
All the other religions. That's nuts.
And the crazy thing is like, if you look at a lot of those other religions and compare it to Christianity with certain things here and there, because things are lost in translation and, you know, over a period of time or whatever, but a lot of them have a lot of similarities.
Right.
You know, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that even if you're anti-religious in any way or shape or form, that you cannot dismiss that millions of people from different parts of the world have a similar story, and the story's older than most of the countries have been around.
Right.
So these stories, even though they've been passed down, verbally, eventually it was all written down. Mm-hmm. And sure, things might have been changed here and there or whatever, depending on, what they had going. It was
written down at the time.
Exactly. Because like back in the day, like in Europe and stuff, the kings and queens, like they basically were partially in charge of like the church. So they would, in certain areas, so they would write certain things down and they would change it to fit their narrative, essentially. Right. Kind of like we have now in America.
We do. Well, it's like the saying, the victor writes the story.
Yeah.
Writes history.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so, when we get taught about World War II in school or in college, we don't get taught that we put Asian people in concentration camps.
Yeah.
That isn't part of the history we teach Americans.
Yeah, it's our history that we...
And we won, so we don't talk about the nasty things we did.
Right. We always talk about the nasty things they did, and the reason why they are the losers and we're the winners. Even though we did a lot of fucking shitty stuff, too.
We always do.
Well, I mean, look, we dropped bombs on Japan and killed a lot of innocent people.
To be fair, they shouldn't have bombed Pearl Harbor.
It is true. It is true. But it's like them bombing us. We had nothing to do with the shit.
Yeah, we were staying out of the fight.
Yeah, we had nothing to do. We're just normal people trying to live our lives just like you guys. But the military came in and started killing us because of something that our government did to them. I honestly, and I've always been an advocate of this, let the country leaders fight amongst themselves and leave the rest of us the fuck out of it.
It's like I was watching this anime today. And it's a fighting anime, and the two gangs decided to have a war. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why don't you just let the two leaders fight it out?
Yeah, exactly.
And if one dies, then the second becomes the new leader, and you just go about your business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it is like it's crazy that, and the thing is like I said I believe it was with Joseph, it might have been with Colton, I'm not sure, but I'm willing to die for my country. I'm willing to die for my people. I'm willing to die for you and everybody around me. But fuck my government. I am not willing to die for my fucking government.
Well, I have a lot of customers that are like, I'm really sick of this state. And I go, no, you're not. You're sick of our government.
Yeah, you're sick of the politicians. You're sick of the government.
Washington is a great state.
Washington is one of the most beautiful states I've ever been to.
We have almost every biome you can think of within a 2 to 4 hour drive in any direction from Yakima.
Yeah.
The Olympic Peninsula is the longest one it takes, like 6.5, 7 hours.
Yeah.
Because you have to drive around a bay.
Yeah.
But
worth the drive, though.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Well, we've been up to Anacortes, and oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Or I like to tell people I love my country, I hate my government.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
My country's awesome. And as a whole, I truly believe, because I go out in the public, I leave town, and I see good in people.
Yeah.
People trying to be good to each other. Mm-hmm. What we see on the media is what they want us to see.
It's propaganda.
And it's a small minority of hateful people being hateful.
Yeah. But they sensationalize it. And
they're loud.
They are loud.
We're quiet.
Well, not only that, but they passed a law saying that they're allowed to do that.
Oh, no, they're loud.
Yeah. I thought you meant they're allowed.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are allowed to.
Well, what was it? With Seattle, a couple years ago, passed a law that you could steal TVs and stuff up to a certain dollar amount if you needed to survive. Who needs a TV to survive?
You don't. You don't need a TV to survive. If there's a guy that comes into a grocery store and he's stealing baby formula or a loaf of bread and some cheese or something like that, and he's got a family, I might look the other way. Or I might like, hey, buddy, what do you need? Let me help you out if I can.
Right. Let me buy some groceries for you.
Yeah, I'll see if I can help you out if I can. Or talk to my manager, say, hey, bro, these guys need some help. Some of the shit that we're getting rid of.
What about the produce that's getting close to expiration?
Yeah.
And we're just going to toss it. Can I give a box of that to this guy?
Yeah. Can we help him out a little bit? Mm-hmm. But no one needs a fucking TV.
No. Food, water, and shelter.
Yeah.
Be able to cool yourself so you don't overheat and die, and be able to warm yourself so you don't freeze to death.
Yep.
That's it.
And I'm not against, like, if you go down Yakima, down in Yakima, you see all those homeless people and all those people out there.
There's a lot of mental health problems in that.
That's a lot of it is. Some of it's drugs. Some of it's laziness.
Well, some of the drugs boil down to mental health as well, because they're trying to cope, and nobody's taught them how.
Yeah.
And nobody's helping them with their problem.
Yeah.
Our mental health system in the United States is garbage.
It's trash.
I mean,
it used to be better,
but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah, it was, because they did a lot of experiments.
Yeah, the sanitariums were terrible.
Yeah,
we need something in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
We need to bring back mental hospitals for people that need help.
And I have no problem paying taxes to help fund those.
I have no problem helping the helpless.
Yeah.
I draw the line at your third generation welfare. Yeah. And you just haven't got off your ass to take care of yourself.
I'm right there with you.
There's been times in my life that I didn't ask, but it would have been nice to have a little kick in the butt to get me off my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wasn't trying.
Right.
But just to make things a little easier here and there.
If someone offered me an extra $100 today, it would help out tremendously.
Well, just this last week, I was like, man, it has not been busy. I got bills to pay. Damn it, I need to pay my power bill.
Mm-hmm.
So I go look at my power bill, and it's $77. I've been running ACs constantly. There's no way it's $77. So I go look at my billing for it.
Yeah.
The state of Washington gave me a tax credit for my power.
Huh.
$200.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm part of I have a flyer and stuff in the store for a firearms insurance company that works in Washington, because most of them don't.
Yeah.
And they give me $100 a month.
Just to keep the flyer up?
Just to have the flyers up. And
and
the pamphlets in the store.
Plus
I have a free membership to that stuff.
Yeah. Shit.
Every month, though, because I forget about it. It's just this little display on my counter. So every month I'm like, why did I get a free $100?
So free membership and an extra $100 a month.
Yeah.
It
helps.
Fuck it. Can't really argue against it.
No.
And you're not really doing anything.
Right. Well, like the tax credit I got with my power bill, that was a pleasant surprise. I didn't apply for nothing. I just got a tax credit. Cool.
I think Washington State was like, hey, remember, we're the good guys. Here's $200.
Well, I've been told in the past that there's times of the year when PP&L, for lack of a better name, charges without looking at meters, kind of guess at usage.
Yeah.
And so at some point in that year, you'll get a credit because they're like, oh, we adjusted for what we overcharged.
Yeah.
I got a tinkle.
Oh yeah, we can just go.
So what service do you put this on?
It's on Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts.
Like I can't hear me anymore. That's why.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I haven't been on Pandora yet because I have to
pay.
You have to pay to be on Pandora. All the other ones are free. RSS feed. There's all kinds of other ones. I can send you the link if you want. Or you can just look it up. It's the CatchAll CatchAll. But anyways, while we're on break, you guys didn't know, but we're on break. While we're on break, I saw a meme and it says, "I am the state, pay me taxes." And it says, and the guy says, "What happens if I don't pay taxes?" And it says, or what do you do with those taxes? And it says, "Protect you from what we'll do if you don't pay taxes," or something like that. I probably butchered the fuck out of it, but yeah, while you were gone, I was looking at those memes and looking at some funny shit on Facebook, all the funny stuff, memes. I love memes, bro. It's one of
They're great.
It's one of the great inventions of the internet.
Yeah.
Is memes. That's one of those things like that are the reason why the internet was invented. Fuck the communication. Fuck watching videos. Fuck all that shit. It's memes and trolling. Those are my two favorite things to do. I am a troll. I have an iPhone account just because like they allow like 95% of free speech stuff.
Yeah.
You can say basically whatever the fuck you want on there. And I like to troll people sometimes on there.
Well, my ability to spell and my grammar is worse than atrocious.
Well, that makes it even better.
So I don't like whenever somebody posts something that is blatantly like not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be like, well, that's not right. That I'd cite sources and stuff. These are facts.
Mm-hmm.
And what it turned into being is people couldn't argue with me because I was posting facts and sourcing my facts.
Right.
So they just attacked my grammar.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, am I writing an English paper? This is Facebook. Shut up.
Right. The grammar Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not writing a paper.
So
can you understand me? Yes, you can.
I created, before the word Nazi was banned off Facebook.
Is it?
If you write it on there, you can get flagged.
Oh, I get flagged all the time. I'm going downstairs.
I got banned off Facebook the other day, or a while ago, a little over a month ago. Because someone had posted in one of the groups I'm in. It was a lady on Tinder. And in the group I'm in, they like to make fun of Tinder profiles of
Sure.
like these people that
They're pretty bad.
Yeah, a lot of them are bad. They're like, they have all these like expectations, but then like they don't have anything to offer, in return besides like their butthole or something.
Yeah, like, I have these boobies.
They're like, hey, I want a man that's 6'3", makes at least 100,000 a year, takes care of my kids,
has a house and a car,
and it's like, what do you have? And they're like, nothing. So
I come with three kids from terrible men.
Yeah. So that's their offer. But I'm in a group that makes fun of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady's name happened to be ISIS, ISIS. And so all I did was write in there. I said, "Good try, ISIS." That's all I wrote. And I got a notification from Facebook saying that I was banned for 30 days out of groups. Who?
ISIS?
I don't know.
No, because there's a kid to me that I know that lives in Selah.
Oh, it was a gal from like over in the East Coast.
There's a gal that lives here. Well, did. I don't know where she is now.
Yeah.
Her name's Isis. Her mom named her Isis.
Oh, shit.
Before they.
Yeah.
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 Every time I'm
just imagine like,
when she was growing up, every time I saw her, I'm like, you're a terrorist.
Just imagine like tagging her in something on Facebook and getting flagged.
Right. I'm just talking to my friend Isis. It's okay.
So anyways, I said, "Good, nice try, ISIS," or "Good job, ISIS," or something like that. And I got flagged from Facebook saying that they don't condone hate speech or promotion of like dangerous groups or terrorists or anything like that. And so you have one chance to basically rebuttal.
Unless it's Antifa or BLM.
Yeah. So I have one chance to rebuttal. So I wrote them back and said, "Hey, all I was doing was talking about the person in the photo and her name happens to be ISIS." And they're like, banned for 30 days. And I'm like, what the fuck?
On my store page, I'll post firearms for sale, which I'm allowed to do because it's a business page.
Yeah.
They'll flag my picture. I'll say, "I'm a store, you idiots," and then they'll put it back up.
Yeah. They're so dumb. I tried posting a scope on Facebook for sale. On Facebook Marketplace, I put a Vortex scope on there, and they said that I'm not allowed to sell it because it's a firearm.
It's not a firearm. I can't kill nothing with a scope. I need other parts.
So I replied back.
That's not true. If I took my Leopold Mark V, that thing's a chunk, and hit you long enough with it, I could probably do some damage.
You could probably bash someone's face in.
Yeah.
But it said it was a firearm.
Right.
There's a very significant difference between a firearm and a weapon.
Piece of glass and a firearm.
So I messaged them back and said, "This is not a firearm. This is what goes on top of a firearm so you can see." And they took it down. I was like, "You fucking morons." So I tried putting it like on OfferUp. And it was fine on OfferUp.
You ever have you ever tried MeWe?
MeWe. I had downloaded MeWe a long time ago. I've only used it like for like...
I have a bunch of friends that use it. I don't.
No. I used MeWe for like a little while, for like maybe a week.
Yeah.
but I didn't know anybody on there.
Well, I got on it. My friend's like, "This is a great place for da-da-da-da." So I joined the group he's in. And there's just so much nonsense chatter.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, nope.
Yeah. What was the other one that everybody was on?
What kind of vortex scope were you getting rid of?
Just a Crossfire. Nothing fancy. It was
I'm always looking for glass.
It was just like one of they're very cheap, like basic ones.
Yeah, it's their entry scope. There's nothing wrong with them.
No. But I upgraded.
Sure.
I upgraded to a different one, and I didn't have anything. And I probably should have kept it.
You should always keep your glass. You should never sell glass.
Yeah. I probably should have kept it, but I ended up
buy another gun that needs glass.
Yeah. I probably should have kept it, but I ended up getting rid of it and using that to buy another piece of glass, essentially. So I was using the money and the profit, or not the profit, I guess, because I did lose a little bit of money off
your return.
Yeah, I took my return.
I'm always glass poor.
Yeah. I would like to get some nice, glass. I mean, Vortex is a great brand. Leopold's a great brand. I
tend to buy a lot of Leopold stuff because I get it wholesale.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it's great, and they have great warranties. Yeah. It's just good glass.
Anything with a gold ring on it is lifetime warranty.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Vortex has got good warranty too.
They've got a great warranty.
Yeah. I've never had any issues with any of my glass.
I just after 10 years of working in retail and having wholesalers, I have a really hard time buying anything your normal cost.
Yeah. Well,
why would I spend $100 more on that when I could get it for $100 less?
Right. Well, of course. Yeah. Well, especially if it's what you need, or well, I guess not necessarily need, but want, and you can get it for cheaper. Why not?
I'm pretty sure if I started saying I need something gun related, I'm lying. I'm way past need.
Oh, it comes to one of my other questions I wrote down, actually.
I'm not telling you how many guns I have.
No, I'm not. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. Well, technically, all those guns in your store are yours, right?
Legally speaking, they belong to other people, and I'm like, all the ones that are in the store are consignment, so I'm selling them for somebody else.
Yeah.
But because I'm a sole proprietor,
yeah,
as soon as they go in my book, they're mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not asking you how many guns you have, but I'm going to ask you what your favorite firearm that you've ever not maybe owned, but come across. Yeah, like, is there one that just kind of sticks out to you?
A 240 Bravo machine gun, belt-fed machine gun.
Ooh.
Is by far my favorite thing I've ever shot.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I used to work out at the base, I had an opportunity to shoot with Special Forces and shot a Maudus,
wow,
a 240 Bravo, a Scar Heavy, an M4, and the Bravo was a hoot.
Yeah? Give your forearms a workout or what?
Well, I was on a tripod.
Oh, okay.
Or a bipod laying on the ground.
Oh, okay. I mean, you still got to control it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because of the recoil.
But it wasn't bad. I had a bruise on my shoulder of the recoil pad. And one of my guys that worked out there since I've been a store gave me the buttstock.
Oh, nice.
One. So I've been wanting to take it down to Jasmine and Tri-Cities and have a tattoo a bruise.
That'd be dope.
On my shoulder.
That'd be dope.
With that pattern.
Yeah. Totally worth it.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was arguably... I'm not sure losing my virginity outweighs that day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, losing your virginity, like, obviously you're like, oh, this is great. I'm a man now, whatever. But shooting a belt-fed machine gun,
it's freaking awesome.
For a fact, you're a fucking man at that point.
One time I worked out there, I got to fire off a howitzer.
Oh, shit.
That's kind of a trip, because when you're standing watching people shoot it, every time it goes bang, you feel the percussion hit your body and you move.
Yeah.
When you're the one pulling the lanyard to fire it,
yeah,
it don't make any noise. There's no percussion from it because you're standing right under it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Wow. That's a trip, huh?
Yeah, it's a trip. Because I was standing there, I watched soldiers shooting it. And then the guy that took me out there is like, do you want to shoot it? I'm like, yes.
Dumb question, of course. Why do you think I'm here?
I want to shoot everything you guys let me touch.
Yeah. I'll fly the fucking airplane or helicopter if you let me.
You put me in that with an instructor who tells me how to fly it. I'll fly it too.
Right.
Oh, this week at National Night Out, Lions Club does hot dogs. We give away hot dogs.
Oh, down here at the park.
Yeah.
The helicopter. Yeah.
I was there when the helicopter landed.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
The amount of air it moves is amazing.
Yeah, we saw it. So I was actually getting my oil changed at Valvoline when they were flying in. And I saw that, and I was like, I was like, holy shit, that thing's fucking low, dude. What are they doing? And I forgot that they were doing it that night there. And I was like, oh, shit, that's what it's for.
Yeah, so the unit out there that flies the helicopters is USAD, the medical unit. So when I worked out there and somebody get hurt, I'd always look at him like, "Are you sad? Do you need USAD? Are you sad?
Are you sad?" No, I'm not sad, sir. I'm injured.
I don't want the helicopter to come get me.
Yeah, it's helicopters are badass. With where I work, I get to deliver. I service the base out there.
Okay.
I service the coffee shop out there when they're open, once a week, every other week, and then I service El Mirador.
Okay.
Out there, and then I also service the little mini mart or little grocery store. Yeah, I service that every other week.
I think it's funny that there's residential houses past the gate.
Yeah, isn't that weird? You have to have a resident license card to get into your own house, and if the base shuts down, you can't get in there.
Or you can't leave.
Yeah, but Pizza Hut delivers out there.
Yes, they do.
There's a sign right there that says Pizza Hut delivers here. I drive by it once a week. But yeah, I've driven by over there, and you see all the helicopters and all the trucks and all that shit over there on the pad, over in that area where the helicopters land. And I've driven by there, and man, just seeing those guys, taking off or landing or whatever. I mean, yeah.
Oh, when he landed, because he landed between there's one big tree in the middle of Wixon Park, and then there's the playground.
Yeah,
he landed between those two locations.
Yeah, and that's a nice spot.
And the pollen and dirt that came out of that tree was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But he knocked out of it.
Probably cleaned that tree up real nice. That tree's probably like, oh, fuck, I can breathe. Those poor squirrels.
Right?
They're probably scared shitless.
Spiders blown to death.
Yeah.
Well, the garbage cans, the garbage cans there, the lids are tied to something secure.
Yeah, so they don't get stolen or whatever.
Yeah. But the wind from that pushed the garbage cans, took them out.
Oh, shit.
The lids just stayed there. And the garbage cans flew way away.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, there's a lot of wind pressure underneath those things.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
Well, you got to lift a 2-ton vehicle or whatever off the ground. Or I don't know how heavy they are.
I don't either.
I'm assuming they're pretty fucking, with all the electronics and all the people and all that stuff and all the equipment and everything on there. I'm assuming they're pretty fucking heavy. So it takes a lot of power and aerodynamics and stuff to lift those fuckers off the ground. It's weird though, because aerodynamically, those things probably shouldn't even fly.
No, they're a potato.
Yeah, but they do, and they're good at it. They maneuver really fucking well.
I mean, there's some helicopters that are aerodynamic, but the ones that you said use, they're potatoes.
Yeah, it's a potato with a propeller.
Yeah, they're shaped like a potato.
Yeah, it's
with a tail.
Yeah, it's round. It's a big old round something.
Well, yeah, and you see those little ones that the farmers use and stuff. Those are bubbles.
Yeah,
with propellers.
They're tiny.
Yeah.
Or even like the news stations or whatever.
Right.
They use those. They're tiny.
Bubbles.
And those things somehow carry a couple people up for... Well, then you see, especially with the fires now, you see those ones that, dip the buckets in the water and shit. And it's like, damn, dude,
water's heavy.
It is heavy. A lot of people don't think, but it's heavy. Try lifting up
Water's crazy. It's so, you pour it on yourself, it's so soft. You run into it at 100 miles an hour. It's harder than hell.
Yeah, it's like hitting concrete.
It's so weird.
Yeah, you jump out of a plane and you land on it.
Oh, yeah, you die.
You die. Depends on how high you are.
Yeah.
20 feet in the air probably hurt.
Yeah.
100 feet in the air? Probably
20 feet ain't too bad. There's a place up on the other side of White Pass. It's a campground past the exit for O'Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Wiss. It's the home of the Blue Hole.
The Blue Hole.
You stand up on this cliff and jump into the Blue Hole.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the bottom. You never get close to it.
Yeah.
And that water's glacier water.
Oh, yeah. So it's ice
cold.
So this time of the year, it's great.
Oh, yeah. Well, if it's real hot, you lose your breath and you hit the water.
Oh, shit.
You come right back up.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I've seen those videos or even the pictures of some people on really crystal clear water and you can see the bottom. You're like, man, that looks shallow, but it's
not. Yeah.
200 feet down.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Obviously, most of the water around here is muddy or dirty.
Sure.
Rim rock and, even our river and shit. I mean, rivers are usually dirty anyways because it's moving water. But even rim rock's not, it's
clean.
It's not clean. It's brown.
Well, yeah. Well, that's partially because of the way it runs in because it's not a natural lake.
Yeah.
So as it fills, it's pushing sediment around.
Yeah.
The rivers that run into Red Rock or run down from the tops of the passes are usually pretty clean.
Yeah.
Because they're at the top.
Yeah, it's fresh, water.
When I was a kid, I took a bath. We made a pool. And I took a bath in glacier water in a river.
Yeah.
And for the rest of that day, I didn't sweat. Rollerblading, biking, no sweat.
Huh.
I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Weird.
Until about 25 years later when I realized that was hypothermia.
Oh, shit. Oh, wow.
My activity level kept me alive.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I got myself that cold.
I was thinking like you came across some magical water or something.
Nope, just lowered my body temperature too much.
Damn. That's crazy. Yeah,
It's a good time.
I remember
I like not being hot.
I remember learning in what was it, Scouts, Cub Scouts or whatever. How to fill up your canteen from a moving water source.
Uh-huh.
Where to fill it up. Obviously, right behind like a rock or something that doesn't have a lot of moss or algae or whatever on it. It's the cleanest part. Obviously, the higher you go up on a mountain, the cleaner it's going to be. But if down here is like say nat cheese,
it's not clean.
It's not very clean. But if you were dying, and dying of thirst, and you found something like that, the cleanest part would be after
it goes
over the rock and it rushes up and it's that white. Mm-hmm. Foam, or not the white foam, but the white water right there. That's going to be the cleanest part because that's where it's like clean in it is essentially where it's there. And if I'm wrong,
then I'm wrong.
Then I'm wrong.
Oh, that can be said about everything I've said tonight.
They were told they told me wrong, but obviously this was back in like the 90s, so things might have changed since then. But
heck, they tell us now not to drink out of the hose. That was my source of water most of my childhood.
I drink out of the hose. Well, I think it comes down to like don't drink out of like irrigation water hoses.
Yeah, I wouldn't
most
do
of
that. There's pesticides and stuff in irrigation water.
But most of the stuff like my house, it's all house water.
Right. It's killed with chlorine and
it's all house water. It's city water.
Yeah.
And it's house water. It's just hooked up to a faucet outside. Right. The only thing is going to be whatever may be in your hose. If there's dirt or whatever.
Doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Oh, yeah.
God made dirt and dirt don't hurt.
Yeah, it's the immunity system. It's your immune system. It's just getting boosted.
Right.
I put dirt in my mouth. My kids have put sand and shit in their mouth and they're not dead. They're fine.
I picked up a M&M off the floor the other day at the store because a kid dropped it and didn't take it. I ate it and the customer's like, you literally ate an M&M off your floor? Your floor is dirty. I'm like, I don't care. It's a hard-shelled candy.
Yeah. It's
not like it's wet.
Yeah, you just go up and wipe it off on your shirt a little bit and pop it in your mouth.
I don't think I put that much effort into it. I put it in my mouth. It was candy.
I mean, you're still here.
Right.
Unless some undeveloping or undiagnosed developed issue is going on inside your stomach right now that we haven't seen, I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I'll be fine. It was yummy M&M.
Yeah. My wifey loves M&Ms.
Yeah, this M&M, this little machine in my store, I don't get the money from it. The handicapped girl does, and now she's gone, and the parents just leave it there and keep filling it. But yeah, all the money in it comes from me.
Yeah.
I like candy.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks about me driving around and servicing all these places in Ellensburg. I get to stop at all the mini marts and all the little grocery stores and all this stuff, and I just snack all day. I mean, some days I have time to stop and get actual food.
Yeah.
But there's other days where I'm busy, like this last week, where like I forgot to bring stuff with me to eat. So I would stop at this store or that store and grab a couple munchies and just munch on stuff throughout the day. It adds up. Prices add up.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, just my soda that I get every day, like that one, got twice today, $1.40. You add that up over a year, you're like, wow, that's a lot of money.
Kings Row?
No, the Conoco?
One of the gas stations?
Yeah, the one that's kitty corner to the Civic Center.
Oh, yeah, that's Conoco.
Conoco. It changes what it is occasionally, and I don't keep track of it.
Yeah. The Chevron's been there forever.
Yeah.
It's just changed.
It used to be a Shell.
Yeah.
Then before that, it was a Texaco.
When I worked in high school, my very first job was Kings Row. And obviously, I'm under the age of 18, so I'm not allowed to have a a bank account. I can have a savings account.
Yeah.
But I can't have an actual bank account with like a debit card or anything like that. So unless my parents opened it, and I didn't want them to open it for me because they'd have control of it. So I used to go to that Chevron. It was something else.
Check.
Yeah, to cash my check. With the guy in there, the owner, his name was Uncle. Everybody called him Uncle, the old Indian guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the Indian guy. And I went in there one day with the check, and he cashed my check a couple of times, and then one day he actually looked at my check, and so I worked at Kings Row, and he goes, "Hey, you work at Kings Row?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You start bringing me a shake every time you cash a check. Bring me a shake," because he would charge me to cash the check.
Yeah,
but he told me that if I brought him a shake, he'd waive the fee.
Cool.
And I'm like, cool, because I get shakes for free.
Yeah.
So it's saving me like $2 or $3 or whatever charged to cash a check. And he's like, and he goes, shake, check, shake, check. See, it rhymes. And I'm like, obviously in his heavy Indian accent or whatever. And I was like, you got it, Unc. So every time I worked at Kings Row and we get paid bi-weekly, I'd bring him my check, cash it in there, bring him a shake. He likes chocolate, or he did at the time. I don't know if he's still alive.
Sure.
I would hope so.
I don't either.
And if he's not, then, God bless him or whatever. But he was a super cool dude, and he actually let me buy cigarettes before I was 18. Because he checked my ID for the check, but he never checked my ID for anything else.
And we never looked at your date of birth because he was just making sure it was you.
Yeah. So back in high school, I could grow facial hair.
Same.
So I had like beard and chops.
My
and whatnot.
oldest boy is 15 years old and he's hairless.
Mm-hmm.
He's not genetically my kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you hairless? Like, I had a beard and body hair at 15. You have nothing.
Yeah. I was a hairy beast in high school. Like, I could grow a beard like I can now. I had chest hair like I do now. I had ass hair, all the man hair.
Ear hair.
Yep. I
freaking hate ear hair.
I had all the hair when I was in high school. So I looked older than I was. So when Henry's Smoke Shop was in town and the Conoco and the gas station over there by Save
thought it was
On.
funny. We had the little smoke shop that was down. What do you remember Glasshoppers? The Glasshoppers building.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So they were in that. It was a little smoke shop with a porn room in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd let the kids into the porn room.
Yeah. That was Henry's. Yeah. I used to buy pipes there for my friends that smoke. I mean, I smoked weed at the high school too, but we'd go in there and they're like, "Oh, my pipe broke. We need a new pipe." We'd go into Henry's and the older lady. I'd
walk in there. Can we look at movies? And she's like, "I don't care. Go look at the movies."
Yeah. We'd go in there and we'd look at pipes and she's like, "Oh yeah, this one's got a real deep bowl," and talking stuff like that. Bought my first steamroller pipe there. Anyways, and we used to go back in there too because, you're a high school boy. Why? Yeah. You don't want to see tits? Come on.
Right.
So we walk back
40
there.
years old. And every time I see my wife's tits, it's like the first time.
Yeah. I'm just
yay! Titties.
Yeah. I'm like my baby, dude. I'm like, what? Time to eat?
Right. Yeah, here, I want to bite it.
Yeah. I like boobies.
Yeah.
I'm an ass man myself, but I do enjoy good tits too.
I like women.
Yeah, women.
Now woman.
Women are great.
Yeah, they're good.
But yeah, we used to go in there all the time, and yeah, she never checked my ID. But I also looked older. At one point I could probably pass for like 20 when I was like 16, 17.
People think Katie's like in her 20s,
mm-hmm.
and I'm closer to 50.
Oh shit! Well,
Katie's 36, and I'm 40.
Yeah. Well, I would say that. I mean, obviously you have facial hair, so I mean, facial hair automatically just makes someone look older
for some reason.
But you don't look 50 to me. Not even.
Well, it's funny. I'll get together with guys at church, and they're like, "You know what I'm talking about, Chuck?" Nope, wasn't born yet.
Remember that thing back in the 70s? And you're like, nope.
Wasn't born yet.
Nope. But then your wife, she does have pretty soft features too. So
yeah, she does.
So she and her skin's still fairly still fairly like soft and whatnot. So yeah, I can see how people might think she's a little younger.
Well, and she gets together with the high school kids at church, or like this last week at a national night out, she was watching one of her friend's kids because he needs to have eyes on all the time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't know her, they assume she's one of them.
Yeah.
And there's like 17-year-old girls.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not like 18 or 20?
Like,
I'm like,
it's like, oh, how come I've never seen you at school?
right.
Oh, honey, because I graduated 15 years ago.
Or when she was helping with the Selah wrestling team, and parents just thought she was another kid wrestling.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, that's great, especially for women. They're always trying to look younger.
They love that stuff.
They're always trying to look younger. And then guys, when we're young, we're always trying to look older.
Well, like I go somewhere now, like out of town, especially out of town. And pretty much anywhere I go in Selah, I don't get added for anything.
Everybody knows you.
Yeah. But I go out of town, and people like, I'll buy something that they need to check your age.
Yeah.
Anymore, it's ammo.
Yeah.
And they're like, can I see your ID? Oh, that's sweet. And what it really is they have to put it in the computer.
Yeah.
Before it'll let them sell the ammo.
Yeah, because they have to put in some type of date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, just put something in there that's from the 80s. It's all old enough.
Yeah. As soon as they see the 19, they're like, oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah, that's always been fun when kids come into the store, guys come in the store. They're born in 2002. That's when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not old enough, bad gun. Go away.
Yeah. Well, because like I would see people, because I remember when I first turned 21, it says when you were born on before this day, 1988, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And then you look at it, and now it's like what
2022
or some shit, or no
2024. 2023 is 21.
Yeah.
Depending on this day, this year would be 2023.
Yeah. Or so 2003, right?
Yeah, 2003.
Yeah. So 2003, before this day on 2003.
Yeah.
You're 21. And it's like, what? No. No. You guys didn't even experience the world. Like, we saw 9/11.
Yeah.
And you guys haven't experienced shit.
Right.
I experienced that shit in middle school.
Yeah, my
You weren't even swimming around your dad's balls yet, bro.
You want to
like,
your mom's eye.
I saw some shit. Man, we've been through life, bro. You guys
kids. There's a bunch of memes out there about people born in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They were the last generation of people that they're the only generation of people that know what it's like to live on both sides of the fence.
Before technology and
after technology.
Mm-hmm. I was born 88, and I remember when our school got their first computer. Like not like a computer, because there was obviously computers.
Right. Well, like when I was a kid in Lentz, we had single system Macintoshes.
Yeah.
That we played Oregon Trail and word processing on. That's all they did.
Yep.
When I was in high school, we had actual PCs.
Yeah.
And we still didn't do anything on them besides
work stuff,
research the internet, and typing.
Yep.
My kid now has option to take coding classes.
Yeah.
And she enjoys. She takes that usually.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when we got our first computer in our classroom, and this kid named Philip, his dad worked for a computer company, maybe here in Yakima, maybe Seattle, I don't know. But he was more knowledgeable about the computers than even the teacher was. So he was like teaching her stuff like how to move the mouse and how to click on stuff and all that. And then we ended up at one point, and I remember it to this day, it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. He changed, like, when you click on something and you have like a window open, it goes bling or something like that because you can't click.
Right.
Until you close something out or whatever. He changed that sound to a knife being thrown. He goes, like, and you can hear it stabbing someone, and the guy going, ugh! And then you hear, like, someone fall on the ground. For some reason, somehow, he got it changed to that, and they can never figure out how to change it back, because it was a fairly new system. They didn't know. There's no IT back then that was, like, knowledgeable. And then if they had to drive from somewhere to come in. They couldn't do it remotely. Mm-hmm. So every time she clicked on something where she was fucked up, and the sound of a fucking someone throwing a knife and stabbing someone, a guy screaming and then collapsing on the ground, was that sound. And we're in elementary school. I remember it was my second grade teacher. I remember it, like, there's some memories that you just hold on to That is one of them. That time and the first time I ever tasted salt water from the ocean.
It's gross.
Was the same exact teacher. She brought back salt water for us.
So go on a cruise ship, and after you're when you're out to sea, they replace the water in the pools with salt water. Because, well, it's free.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
You're also very buoyant in salt water, but it tastes like crap.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't
Well, and it kills bacteria.
It's not like I'm trying to drink it.
It kills bacteria naturally, too. Because the salt...
Back to cruises. Cruises are a lot of fun. If they're, like, the one that I met Katie on went to Mazatlan, went down that side of Mexico. And if it's going to places that you think you might want to stay for a while... Yeah. It's relatively inexpensive in the grand scheme of things, because you get food, shelter. That's all paid for under your trip, unless you want specialty food or you want to drink. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So the first time I went on a cruise ship, I couldn't afford to drink. Yeah. To buy the drink package. Yeah. And now I don't drink. And my friends bought the drink package. They would only let you drink 12 drinks a day on a drink package. Katie's like, well, that's not bad. I was like, when I was drinking when I met you? She goes, yeah. I would never get intoxicated. Yeah. I was drinking 8 to 10 freaking Kraken and Pepsis a night at the tea. Yeah. In 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, your tolerance. It depends on your tolerance.
I mean, if I drank one of those now, I'd probably die.
I haven't drank in over 2 years. Fuck.
I remember when I was at the height of my stupidity and was drinking as much as I was. I was drinking with a bunch of people, and this girl's like, I can drink as much as you can, Chuck. And I was like, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? You've wasted your life. That's my response to her. You have not accomplished a damn thing. Shit. That's not something to be proud of.
I have a funny story about drinking. We went to a party.
I'm sure I do too, if I can remember them all.
Yeah, right. I do remember this one. This one kind of sticks in my head just because it was funny, I guess. It's interesting. We're up at a party up in the mountains, probably Little Natchez or somewhere up there, that area. And we have a keg. And there's this gal, Hispanic gal, kind of bigger, super cool. She comes up and everybody's, it's getting closer to the end of the night and everybody doing these keg stands and shit. I do a keg stand like 5-6 seconds. I can't chug beer like some of these guys can. And then, got some people up there for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever. This gal's like, hey, can I try? Sure. She gets up there and they're holding her up there. After about second 52 or 53, everybody just stops counting. They're just like, holy fuck, this bitch is just chugging, bro. And eventually they pull her down because, like, she's drinking all of our beer.
Drinking all of our beer.
What the fuck, dude?
I never was a beer guy.
So when I first started drinking, I hated beer. Yeah. And I got to the point where I didn't mind it because it's an acquired taste. Sure. But I never really liked like the light beers, like Coors Light, Bud Light stuff. When I got into beers, I really liked like the IPAs, the nut ales, the browns.
You live in a good place for IPAs.
I do. I do. And then when I worked in Idaho, one of my jobs over there at one point was I worked at a wine/beer bar. People would come in, they could taste wine and taste beer and stuff like that. But at one point, they didn't have the beer tasting thing. There was something that they wanted to bring in and innovate or
expand on.
Yeah. And they needed someone who was knowledgeable of beer. They asked me to be the head beer guy, and I actually had a card that says my name, and underneath my title was head beer guy. Because they asked me, he's like, what do you want your title to be? And I was like, head beer guy's fine. And they're like, sounds fun. Sure, why not? Fun. So they put my name on it. It said head beer guy. And I wish I still had some of those cards because like people don't believe that I had that on there. But I had that, and we brought in a bunch of different beers, and I was in charge of all the different beers we could bring in. So they built a kegerator type thing, had like 4 different taps and all that other shit. It was a good time. But I really got into, when I was working there, I really got into like those different types of beers. And then when I first got that new title, we have vendors. Obviously, everybody that owns a business that sells shit has vendors. We had different beer vendors. And once they found out that I had that new title, they came in and dropped me off beer my very first week. And my manager, Missy, if you're listening, Missy, I don't know if you listen or not, but if you're listening, she would call me on my days off to ask me questions or to come in. And I would never fucking answer because I did not want to come in because I wasn't quite making 40, so they can call me in.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, she calls me one day, leaves me a message, and says, Mike, I'm not calling you to come in. I just want you to come pick up some stuff the vendors left you. And I called her back, and I'm like, hey, Missy, sorry I missed your phone call. I never called her back. Hey, Missy, I'm sorry I missed your phone call. What's going on? She's like, hey, the vendors left you some stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, yeah, come pick it up. I'm like, right now? She's like, yeah, come pick it up right now. I'm like, okay, cool. I have the weekend off. This is one of the only weekends I ever had off. So I drive down there to the beer shop. They left me 22 different beers.
Wow.
And they're not like Coors Light, Bud Lights. They're like 5 to 9% beers. And they're all different varieties.
Wow.
Because they want us to bring some stuff in.
Uh-huh.
That, the beer guys, the person that did the beer stuff before me wasn't really into beer, so they never tried anything. So they just brought like normal stuff in. So there's a guy named Dustin that worked there that we hired probably like a month or two beforehand. And I was teaching him all the stuff that I knew, like how to pour wine, how to pour beer, how to, if someone asks for a certain type of beer or whatever, how to look all that stuff up. Anyways, because I've been there for a little while. I called him and I'm like, hey, bro, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, I work today, but then I'm off the rest of the weekend. And I'm like, what are you doing tonight? He's like, nada. And I'm like, hey, you want to get paid to drink beer? And he goes, what? And I'm like, you want to come over to my house? Do you want to drink beer? We make notes and then we'll give it to, what was that bitch's name? I can't remember her name, the owner. She's like, her name's Amber. There we go. Give it to Amber, our written times that we were researching.
Right.
And she would pay us. She'd throw in our check. And he goes, what? For real? Well, I'm off in like 2 hours, bro. I'll be over. Him and I drank those 22 beers within a day and a half. And holy fuck, bro. We were fucked up that whole weekend. Like basically, as soon as he got over, we drank like 8 beers. Like 8 or 9 of those beers the first night.
Beers.
Yeah. So we were fucked. Our notes went from like, oh, it tastes good, to like the ninth beer, like, good.
So.
And then the next day we finished the rest of them. And by the time we got to the end of the day, I was so fucking
hungover,
done and dead. And I did not want to think about beer. And then the next day I had to go back and think about beer. And I did not want to do anything with beer for like a month after that because I was so fucked up. But I really like those type of beers. But then like I obviously stopped drinking.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking about 2 years ago, but I got to the point where I was just straight up bourbon in a glass and just sipping it.
My drink of choice was Kraken rum with Pepsi, and I was getting them in pounders. Oh, yeah. With a splash of Pepsi.
Kraken's good.
And one day I walked to the bar and asked for another, and the bartender looked at me and goes, really? And I go, well, if you're asking me that question, maybe not. How many have I had? And it was like the golden day of drinking, I guess. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you've had 12.
Oh, shit.
I said, no, water, please. I'm like, I don't know how I'm talking to you right now. And she goes, me neither.
Wow. You'd think they would have stopped you after like 8.
Well, I wasn't showing any signs.
I mean, this is true. I mean, unless they're...
Well, usually at that particular bar, if I was starting to get tipsy and asked for another one, they'd bring me Mountain Dew. That was when I knew I was done.
Yeah.
That was fine.
Yeah.
I remember sitting with people and like, doesn't that piss you off? Why? That my bartender cares enough about me not to let me get sloppy and drive home?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it doesn't bother me.
No, it's great. It's good.
Because clearly, my biggest problem with drinking was I would never get drunk at home.
Oh, yeah. Even if you had like people over or anything like that?
Nope. I would get drunk at bars because they'd serve me.
You didn't have to make your own shit.
I didn't even have to think about it. I went to that bar so much that they knew what I wanted. Like when I pulled up, it was at the end of the bar when I walked in the door.
Yeah.
So I never had to think about it. I never had to order a drink. Never.
You just walked up and
I had to eventually think about I shouldn't have any more.
Yeah.
Where at home, I'm lazy as hell. And I'm like, I have to go back in the kitchen and make another drink? Are we doing that bad?
You're like, this couch is pretty comfy.
My dad makes fun of me because we have a big fridge in the garage and a freezer in the garage, and I keep certain foods out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do you keep them in the garage? Because he knows why. He's picking on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm lazy and I won't walk out there and get it. like all my pop and stuff is all out in the garage fridge because I won't drink as much.
If it's out there.
If I have to go get that in the garage that's 60 feet away instead of 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Because I'm that lazy.
Yeah. You know yourself, so you're doing it.
My ice cream is in the garage freezer.
Yeah.
So I don't go get ice cream every night.
Yeah.
Because I would. I love ice cream.
Favorite flavor?
Yeah, my wife was just asking me what I'm going to do for dinner, how long I'm staying and whatnot. And I was like, well, I'm thinking about going to Kings Row because we've been talking about Kings Row. And she goes, you hate Kings Row. I'm like, I know that. Yeah, I don't hate Kings Row. I used to live 2 houses behind the Civic Center until I was in 5th grade. And I ate there a lot.
Yeah.
I just got sick of it. But I really do like their garbage burger.
I used when I worked there in high school.
I'm sure you ate there a lot.
I ate all the time, and I got tired of it.
Katie loves pizza. I don't have anything against pizza.
Yeah,
but thank God she doesn't like Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah, I don't like,
because when I was 13, 14, my parents remodeled their kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a kitchen for 8 months.
Oh God!
So we ate pizza a lot.
Oh God! Ugh.
My favorite pizza locally is Magic's. I like their pizza a lot.
We actually just had them last night.
Yeah.
I do like Magic's, but my favorite pizza in the local vicinity gotta be Zach's.
I haven't had their pizza.
No? Mm-mm. You know who they are? So, plug real quick. Zach's Zaz is over there in Glede. It's right off the freeway.
Oh, I saw it. I was coming home from camping. I was like, I should come out here and try that.
It's delicious.
Right off the highway.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's right off the highway. They're real quick with their food. It's a little spendy. It's a little more...
They almost have to be where they're at because they're not going to get super busy a lot.
Yeah, but they do deliver to Selah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They deliver to Selah, Glede, Natchez, and even parts of Yakima.
That's amazing.
So
they're right on the highway. It's a jaunt to get here.
Yep. So, but I've eaten there plenty of times. And their food, the first time I ever ate there, we were up in the mountains and we came back and we saw them and we're like, hey, let's, my wife's friend knows the owner. So she was like, hey, you should try Zach's if you're ever out there, just trying to help drum up business. So we were driving by and I was like, hey, this is that spot. And my wife said, we should go in there and try it. So we went in there and I just bought a slice because they sell by the slice or la pie.
Okay.
So we bought a slice and drink or whatever. And their pizzas, the slices were pretty big. And I was like, holy shit. And I ate it and I was like, the crust is good. The flavor's good. The sauce they make themselves, and they use, like good ingredients. I was like, this is some good shit. So, on multiple different occasions, we have ordered pizzas from them and I don't mind paying the guy to come deliver it, but if I can save myself $12,
$12 to
deliver and tip, I might as well just go pick it up.
Yeah, it was funny. When I had a roommate, my roommate's moved out now, but he would drive to Domino's from our house.
Yeah.
It's a block away. Or he'd have it delivered. No, he'd have it delivered. I'm sorry, I got my story wrong. He'd have it delivered. It's a block away.
Yeah.
Domino's has an online order that is any large pizza, 2 toppings for $7.99, but you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
It's a block away.
And he'd pay $22 to have it delivered.
Yes.
Some people, man.
The best thing about Starbucks coming into Selah is now I don't have to drive 2 blocks down the road. I drive to the stop sign, down Pleasant, across a parking lot, and I am to Domino's and Subway.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be like I think it's our 6th coffee stand now in Selah.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's crazy.
It was really funny because I drive by it every day. And one day when they were getting close to having it done, they had the building painted, the signs were all up, the board in the drive-thru was up, but they weren't quite open yet. There was a car in the drive-thru, an older couple, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't open.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like...
it's not open, guys.
It's not open yet.
You have to drive through. You couldn't drive through because construction trucks were on the other end.
Yeah. I service two Starbucks in Ellensburg, and they're good people, but I wish they'd rinse out their rags.
I don't drink coffee, so
Neither do I.
I have no need to go into one.
Well, the only reason I go into some of those coffee places is because I service them.
Yeah.
So
the last time I was in a Starbucks is because I chased a girl in there.
Oh.
I was trying to date her, and she wanted to go to a Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
So I went to a Starbucks.
Yeah.
She's like, "Do you want anything?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah. Yeah, I service the Starbucks in Ellensburg, and they're always asking me if I want stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm okay.
The store I ironically miss the most that isn't around here anymore is Borders.
I love Borders.
I used to go in when I worked at GameStop. I'd walk across to after my shift. I'd walk across to Borders, and I'd sit on the floor and read manga for hours.
Yeah, Borders was great. I loved going in there. Another one that I wish we had over here that Spokane had for a long time, and they got rid of it, was Hastings.
Oh, Hastings is great.
I fucking love Hastings.
My mom's family's from Lewiston, Idaho, and they have They still have a Hastings there.
Yeah, I think there's one in Tri-City still. Isn't? No, that's a Borders. Never mind. It's Borders.
Yeah. It's not what it used to be, but Hastings was awesome.
Yeah, I loved Hastings. It was like I don't know. It had movies, had video games,
it was
had
a
music.
Nerd hotspot. I mean, it was perfect. It had movies, video games, books, comics, toys, paraphernalia, shirts.
Yeah, had anime stuff in it.
Everything.
If it was around today, like in this area, it'd have like Pokemon cards and Funkos and all that other shit.
We have some pretty cool shops in Yakima, Funko and comics, and not just Ron's Corner Book anymore.
Yeah,
when I was a kid, that's all we had.
Yeah, which I like Ron's. Yeah. It's a little dated, but it's got that nostalgic feeling, especially like if you went there when you were a kid.
Back in the day when the mailbox that my parents have, I bought when I was 12 because I got tired of the post office bidding my comics and stick them in the mailbox. So I had to get a mailbox that was wide enough they could lay them flat.
Yeah.
But before that, I had a deal down at Ron's. And I'd go down there every 2 weeks and pay for like 5 comics.
Yeah.
And they just put them in a file for me. It was a cool service they did back then.
I think they still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is a guy that I know. His name's Jacob. He's a tattoo artist and a graffiti artist. He's a local guy. He's super cool dude. I don't know if he recognized me or knew who I was when I saw him last time. But he was at Ron Conan Books. My kid's really into coins right now. Okay. So we went in there, and he has got a couple of those books that you can fill up all the dates for different things. So we're in there looking at the old Indian head buffalo nickels or whatever and stuff like that, looking for dates and to fill up his book. Yeah. And I looked over, and it was that Jacob guy. And I used to work with him at Kings Row. Oh, because his grandma is Sherry. Oh. So I know him. And it's been a long time since I've talked to him. But I've seen him here and there and like said hi or whatever. And I saw him and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he kind of looked at me and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Do you remember me?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "I don't know if he remembers me," because he kind of looked like, "Of course I know who you are." But I remember him. But I chatted with him for a few minutes, but he came in there and he was picking up probably like, I don't know, a stack of comic books. He just came in there, gave the guy money, and he grabbed his comic books and he was out. So I'm assuming they probably still do.
Or still do
that same service or a variation of that service. Yeah. Or maybe maybe he pre-ordered all those things and he came in and then he picked them up.
I've been thinking about getting a subscription to Show on Jump digital.
Yeah.
Because I want to read. I've been watching My Hero Academia. It's a really good anime. I want to read it. Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty close to the manga. Yeah. Manga, however you want to say it. I don't know how it's right. I don't know what's right. I'm English.
Yeah.
To get all the comics, there's 41 of them. It just ended this month. There'll be 41 volumes. Will cost me like $450.
Jeez.
Or I can pay $2.99 a month to Show on Jump digital service and read all the comics I want.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think I'm going to pay $400.
Right.
My problem with the reason I hadn't done it yet is I have a iPhone mini. And it's really hard to read manga on something that small.
Yeah, because the screen's not that big.
It's tiny. You have to blow it up, and then to switch pages, you have to shrink it.
Yeah. It's probably be better like on a tablet or something.
But my wife's iPad is great.
Yeah.
And she's not as stingy as me, so I can use her stuff.
You just got to pull the trigger then.
Yeah, I just have to not be cheap.
I mean,
one of my friends just gave me. We split the cost for Crunchyroll.
mm-hmm.
Then at first she was like, "Well, that's great. I hate anime," and now that I have Crunchyroll, it's all I watch.
Yeah,
if I have the choice,
yeah,
I'm like, let's watch anime.
The cool thing about because I have Hulu. The cool thing about Hulu is there's a lot of anime.
There is a
Hulu.
lot.
Which is great because I do like some anime. I haven't gotten into a lot of them, but I do like some of them.
Well, there's some anime. I don't have Hulu right now, but I'll have to. When season 3 of One Punch Man comes out, it'll be on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to pick Hulu back up to watch it. I might pick Hulu back up because I want to watch Bleach. I thought Bleach would be on Crunchyroll. It's not. It's on Hulu.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, it's licensing.
Well, I get it, but like Hulu is basically like a Disney almost now.
That's part of the reason I don't have Hulu.
Yeah.
They're basically becoming one.
So I
despise Disney
as a whole. We used to have the Hulu bundle, which was Hulu, Disney, and ESPN.
Yeah.
I never watch ESPN because I don't watch sports. Every once in a while,
I like to watch UFC.
Every once in a while, I'd watch like golf or something because I like to golf. It's boring for people to watch, but
you are defective.
Shut up, leave me alone. I'm defective at golf because I suck at it.
I can't say a whole lot. There was one year I was watching the U.S. Open.
Hey, I've been to the. We actually went to the U.S. Open once.
My buddy came over after it was over, and I was playing a tennis game that was the U.S. Open. He's like, "Are you really playing a tennis game?"
You weren't playing Wii Sports tennis? That's the S tier tennis.
So I remember when the Wii came out, and everybody was all excited about it because it was a motion console. Get you off the couch.
Yeah.
It took me and my friends like one night to figure out you could do all of the motions with the flick of your wrist.
Yeah, you just sit down and do everything. Yeah. Now, like the Kinect and stuff was a little more immersive,
right?
You know, when
there's some creepy stuff that it's been videos. Not like people did creepy things with it, but a guy turned it on at night and went to sleep on his couch, and a stick figure from the feed is picked up looking at him, and walking around the room, but there's nobody else in the room.
Yeah, it's scary.
I'm like, that's creepy.
I mean, obviously he could have like edited that,
sure,
but
you can't really believe anything you see anymore.
Yeah,
once you see it with your own eyes.
But the fact of the matter is that still, even if it's not real, it's a cool little creepypasta kind of thing, you know. But I remember when the Wii first came out and we could not get them.
Yep, so do I, because I sold mine. Because I worked at GameStop during that time, and of course I got one.
Yeah,
because I pre-ordered it.
Yeah,
and a family that I'd done a lot of business with in the store really needed one for Christmas.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I'll sell you mine.
Yeah,
I'll put it all. It had like 10 hours, not even 10 hours on it.
Yeah,
I put it back in the box and sealed it all up and gave it to them. They were ecstatic, and I never bought another one.
Yeah,
I'd like them to port Twilight Princess to the Switch.
Yeah,
so I can play it. Nintendo, if you hear this, come on, that and Wind Waker, come on.
If we get to the point where Nintendo's listening to this, I'd like to make a couple of requests too, please. Update Mario 64, please, and just re-release it. Like the port is cool, but like just update it.
I downloaded. I forgot.
And make it online with a Luigi.
So they have the emulators. You have to be a online member to get those. But they have an N64 emulator.
Oh, on the Switch? Yeah. I used to have it. Yeah.
And then they have an N64 mature emulator. The mature games are only on that emulator.
Like what mature games? Like
I don't remember what game it was I downloaded that was mature, but it downloaded the second icon. I thought was weird. Because
I remember there was an N64 emulator, but I didn't know there was a mature
N64 emulator.
I wonder what's on there.
I forgot.
There wasn't very many mature N64 games, though.
What was it?
Because like I know PlayStation had mature. Oh, it might have been Conquer then. That was a mature game. That was one of the few mature N64 games because I remember that created quite a buzz because they said like shit and stuff.
I remember that game. I actually owned that game.
Yeah. Conquer's bad for a day. Bring back some memories. Speaking of Wii's though, so GameStop, Game Crazy, basically right next door to each other.
Yeah.
You know, it had a small little parking lot in between. I used to jump back and forth between those places all the time. I'm assuming I probably saw you in there a few times. I don't remember because it was such a long time ago. But I remember this is when the Wii's came out. and the Wii's were sold out everywhere. I wanted one without spending $2,000 on a fucking Wii from some guy on eBay. I decided, instead of buying a Wii, I was going to go buy an Xbox 360 because I hadn't had one yet.
Yeah.
And I had the money. I was working at a place that was paying pretty decent at the time, like $5 above minimum wage. So it was actually making decent money. I went to GameStop. You guys didn't have any Wii's. I went to Game Crazy. No one had any Wii's. So I decided to stop at Toys R Us and just kind of look around.
Yeah.
Went into Toys R Us, looking around at their prices of stuff too, and everything's the same price everywhere you go.
Sure.
You know, $399 or whatever it was for a 360. So I decided to, you know what? I'm here. I'm just going to buy one. I grabbed the little sticker or the little card to take it up to the front to buy a 360. I walk up to the front, hand it to the lady, and they had that big glass display case behind the counter so you can see all the stuff. And I look up there and they go, huh, it's kind of funny. She's like, what? And I was like, you guys are teasing everybody with all those empty Wii boxes back there. And she goes, no, we just got a shipment of Wii's in. 15 of them.
Nice.
And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah. Why, you want one? I was like, yeah, I will take one. She's like, how many do you want? I was like, I just want one. I just want one for myself. I'm not going to scalp them or anything. So I bought it, and I instantly drove over to GameStop and told whoever was in there, I was like, yo, Toys R Us right now has like 14 Wii's. I think just came in. No
shitting. I think you told me that.
Chances are.
Because I remember telling people that were coming in, Toys R Us has Wii's right now. You need to get them.
I probably did tell you. So I walked in there and I was like, yo, I just bought a Wii. It's in my fucking car right now. There's like 15 of them over at Toys R Us. And so I don't know if anybody went over there.
Toys R Us was an interesting store because it wasn't like towards the end of it being here because they had really old stuff. That they just never sold. And because Toys R Us was falling apart as a corporation,
they weren't
moving it to other locations. So it just would stay there.
Yeah.
And you'd look behind things or under kiosks and find old video games that you couldn't find anymore.
Yeah.
Old Pokemon cards. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
Back in the day, long time ago, back when you were a little person still.
Yeah.
Price matching was a thing. Right?
Yeah. Still kind of is, but not.
But everybody didn't have the same prices. So like you could go to Target, and get a movie on clearance.
Yeah.
For $10. And then you could take it to Walmart and return it as an unwanted item. And they were still selling it for $30.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time.
That was a crazy time.
That was back then, you actually had to shop around. You actually had to pay attention. You were paying way more. I remember when, during that time, I would buy box sets of DVDs from places like Target or Walmart when they clearanced them. And I would turn around and sell them on eBay for twice as much as they cost at Walmart when it wasn't clearanced.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
People were like, well, I don't have to go anywhere.
Oh, yeah. It's convenience.
Yeah. I don't have to go anywhere.
Well, not only that, but they've probably been looking for it. They went to Walmart and it was sold out.
Yeah, because jackwagon like me bought them all.
There's been times like that. I remember when GameStop was doing their trade-in 2, get X amount of extra percentage, trade-in 4, get extra amount of extra percentage, trade-in 6 or more or whatever. And I cleaned house.
Yeah.
I went in there and dropped off so many fucking games that I did not need. And I made like 2 G's.
Well, a great day was when now they're taking Nintendo and Super Nintendo stuff in again.
Yeah.
But there was a stretch when I worked there that they decided to not take it anymore.
They weren't taking that stuff, yeah.
And we had to zero out all the stuff, break it, throw it away.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. And then we also were free to buy it from customers.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a conflict of interest to the business because they weren't taking it anymore.
Right.
Man, I got so many Super Nintendo, like Secret of Mana in the box.
Ooh.
Final Fantasy 3 in the box. Just Final Fantasy 2 in the box.
Just grails.
Yeah. Just awesome stuff. Because they were just getting rid of it.
Well, and obviously the person didn't want it anymore.
Right. And I never tried to rip people off, but that was also before the time of eBay was there, but you weren't able to like instantly price check things like you can now.
Right.
So
eBay's kind of been a helpful thing, but also a pain in the ass as well.
Well, it's getting worse.
Because a lot of people on eBay, they ask way more than some of the shit's even worth. Mm-hmm. But the thing is people will take that number and use it as an asking price for their stuff.
Like in the store.
And I'm like, bro, look at the sold prices.
In the store, people...
I can ask $1,000 for this thing, but it's only worth $20.
Will come in to sell a handgun or something, and they're like, I looked it up on Gunbroker. I'm like, did you look up completed auctions to see what they sold for? Or what people are wanting?
Yeah.
You can see what people sold stuff for? Yes. Because if you didn't, you were not looking at good prices because they didn't sell at that price.
Yeah, because they're obviously still there.
Well, and anytime okay, so if you go on Gunbroker and price your own item out, say that it's selling for $800 on average, knock 25% off that.
Yeah.
You're in Yakima.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to try and sell on Gunbroker.
Well, or unless you can sell.
Or consign it or something.
Occasionally I'll get stuff that is not overpriced, but high.
Yeah.
And it still sells because the right person walks through the door.
Yeah, because they're looking for it, or they
really anything over around $1,000 in Yakima is a lot of money for something.
Yeah, I mean my AR was about $1,000 that I built.
Yeah,
but it's not got super bougie Gucci shit on it, furniture or anything like that. It's got Magpul stuff, but it's decently priced for what it is.
I didn't know which one of my friends you asked. Some of my stuff's bougie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, no, it's not. It's just good stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's twice as nice as my stuff. And I'm like, well, that's a choice.
Well, the thing is yeah, you could have that stuff too. If
there's stuff I own now that I would have never owned if I kept drinking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to afford it.
Yeah.
I spent all my money on booze.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff here that even in the last 2 years that I couldn't afford, but because I was buying, and I got to the point where like my tastes were expensive. I was buying $60, $70, $80 bottles of bourbon, and I was going through them in a week.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
That's an expensive habit.
It is especially when I have a bougie taste. Right. They're like, oh, just drink like Black Velvet. I'm like, no.
What's that saying?
Fuck that shit.
You're spending money on a wine. You're spending wine money on a beer budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not how the saying goes, but it's close.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine was, I wasn't making that decent of money, and I was buying Blanton, which is $80 to $90 a bottle. I was buying some scotch. I was buying Redbreast Irish whiskey, which is, depending on the style, is anywhere from $70 to $100 a bottle. I was buying expensive stuff.
The most expensive bottle of booze I've ever bought was, I think it's called Pendleton Black Barrel.
Yep. I've had that stuff. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I can't honestly say it's good. It's good enough over regular Pendleton to pay the extra for it.
Yeah, you're paying for the bottle essentially in the name. Yeah. There's a lot of people, and if you guys are Crown drinkers, this is a good one for you. If you drink Crown Royal was established, if I remember correctly, because this is a long time since I've looked this up, but I think Crown Royal was established, and they're not even like a Canadian brand. I think they're based out of Oregon or some shit. Crown Royal was created or came to being in like the 40s. And Wiser's is an actual Canadian brand, and they were made back in like the 1860s, 1870s. And if you take those two bottles and you sipped on them right next to each other, you cannot tell the fucking difference.
So,
and it's $18 versus $28 to $30. Because when I worked at the liquor store in Idaho, I was like, what is this Wiser's? Why do people keep buying this Wiser's? And I decided to buy a bottle one night, and I took it home and I took a little sip of it, and I was like,
that's Crown.
It tastes like fucking Crown. What the fuck? So I had a friend who was a Crown drinker, and I was like, bro, try this. And he's like, what is it? I was like, it's Crown. And he drank it, and I was like, it's Crown, right? And he's like, yeah, it's Crown. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's not Crown. It's Wiser's.
It's Wiser's.
And I got him switched over to Wiser's because he was saving $10 a bottle.
In the gun world, older guns. Charles Daly is an importer of firearms.
Mhm.
They just have whoever makes it.
Yeah.
So if you're out looking for a nice Browning over and under, you want a Satori, but you don't have Satori money, look for a Charles Daly over and under that was made in the Maruku factory in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Satori.
It's the same thing.
It just says Charles Daly on it.
Wow.
It's the same shotgun.
We used to sell Charles Daly shotguns in Bi-Mart,
Yeah.
and they were fairly inexpensive.
Well, a lot of
I don't know if they're that specific one you're looking.
Well, like a Satori starts at about $1,500.
Yeah.
If you've come across a Charles Daly Maruku over and under, they're like $6 to $7.
Yeah, I think ours was closer to like $450, but it must have been not that one. It might have been a cheaper version.
What they had in there. So it's like Howa. Howa makes Weatherby Vanguards.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Howas are pretty decent actions, actually. There's one sitting on my counter right now, a mini action in 223. It's just a barreled action. Man, it's taking a lot of willpower not to take that home, put it in stock.
It's a nice little gun.
It's only $350.
That's cheap.
Yeah, another $300. It's in a stock, and
yeah. I was thinking about I service Sure Shot in Kittitas?
Yeah.
And I was in there, and there's a couple guys in there buying a suppressor or whatever. And the lady in there, she's always trying to get me to look at guns because she knows if I put it in my hand, I'll probably buy it.
Yeah.
Their prices are a little higher.
Yeah, they are.
So like for instance, I know for a fact because I worked at Bi-Mart, they had a Rough Rider 22, little single action.
Yeah, little Heritage.
Yeah, the little Heritage. She wanted at one of them was $269.
That's a lot for a Heritage.
Yeah, they're like $169 at Bi-Mart.
That's a lot for a Heritage.
Yeah, and it was on consignment.
Well, and Heritage got a run for its money in the last year or so with the Ruger Wranglers.
Yeah,
and now they have the Super Wrangler that comes with both cylinders, like the single 6 did. Yeah, and it's still $200 to $300 cheaper than a single 6.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice because like I was looking at those and I was like, and then she had another one for $219. I was like, I can buy that same exact one because it was just a basic model. I can buy the exact same one for $169, 15 minutes that way because they do have a Bi-Mart in Ellensburg.
Yeah, they do.
And I was like, I could buy one there as long as they have it in stock.
Right.
The only thing is the Bi-Mart one doesn't come with that second cylinder, so all you got to do is just reach out to them and they send it to you.
Yeah, I think now they charge $50.
Yeah,
but that's nothing.
But still. But then you could shoot the 22 long, and 22 mag. 22
mag and 22 long rifle.
Yeah, which is nice. And I thought about getting one just because, like, I loved shooting my stepdad's single action 22. They're so much fun. Yeah, and you can shoot them all day.
22s are a hoot. I have 3 revolvers in 22.
Yeah. You can shoot them all damn day.
I have
it doesn't cost anything.
4 or 5 rifles in 22.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. I can teach my kids. I can teach other people. If they want me to teach them how to shoot, I can teach them cheap.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about, scaring someone that's, timid around guns. Because
anytime I teach somebody new to shoot, I always start with a 22 pistol.
Yeah, because you don't want to scare them.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, shoot this 300 Win mag.
Yeah, let me scope you.
Yeah, or like 3.5-inch shotgun shell.
Right.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
The SX4. I bought it for my wife for duck hunting, but she hasn't been duck hunting in the last couple of years, so I've been using it because I have a pump. Pump, semi-auto.
Right.
I like the semis a little more.
So I grew up shooting single shot bolt action to bird hunt. And then I moved up to a side-by-side.
Oh, yeah.
And then an over and under. So now when I shoot pumps, it's extremely deliberate.
Yeah.
Because I go bang, and I try to go bang again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to run this.
Yeah.
I don't have to go bang, bang, open, bang, bang, open.
Right. Yeah, so like so I've shot pump. I've shot a couple over unders and side by sides, but I never shot like a single. But I've shot pumps. But before that, I never even shot like a semi-auto shotgun.
Well, I think most people starting should be taught to shoot birds with a pump or an over and under side by side.
Yeah.
I would gravitate towards side by sides, over and unders, because you have to think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got to remember what barrel you shoot first.
Yeah.
So you're not shooting with the tight first and the bird's close.
Yeah.
You got to think about how far that bird is away And the fact that you only have 2 shots.
Yeah, so you take your time.
It slows you down.
It does.
Where like I've watched people first time hunting and their dad gives them one of the semi-autos because they have one.
Yeah.
They don't have to go buy another gun.
Yeah.
And it's just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. I don't know how many times, like mine, when I take my pump action, I do like taking my pump action, not only because like when I fire, I can't just fire again, but when I pump, it gives me that second time to like take that millisecond breath and then think about my next shot and shoot.
I have 2 shotguns that are pumps
Mm-hmm.
that are before trigger resets.
Mm.
So you hold the trigger down. When you close it, it goes bang.
Oh, wow.
Bang, bang. It's called slam fire.
Yeah.
In World War II, the Germans wanted us to quit using ESCA-37s and Winchester Model 12s.
Mm-hmm.
Said it was inhumane because our soldiers would drop into the trench and run it till it was dry.
Yeah.
Just pumping, and then drop back and another one would come up and just clear trenches.
Yeah.
They're awesome. That's what sits next to my bed.
Trench guns.
Yeah. I told Katie, if anybody ever comes to the house and I go out of the room, I'll take a rifle. You grab a shotgun, go in the bathroom, and sit in the tub with it pointed at the door.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes to the door, you pull the trigger. Don't let it go. You just keep pumping that shotgun till it doesn't go bang no more.
Right. In our room, we have both of mine and my wifey's AR pistols, and then a shotgun as a backup. Funny story about having to pull our guns out while we're here at home. So this is before my youngest was born. My oldest was probably my youngest age now. Probably around 2, maybe 3. We're laying upstairs. He's laying in bed with us. We're laying upstairs. It's kind of a later night. My wifey's laying over here. I'm laying right here. Kids in the middle. On my phone, about ready to fall asleep. And all of a sudden I hear a bang. And because you're in that part between you don't know if you're still awake or dreaming.
Oh, sure.
So I hear a bang and I look and I sit up and I look over at my wife and she looks at me and she goes, "Did you hear that? It's fucking go time."
All right. I wasn't dreaming.
Yeah. So I go over, I grab, this is before I had my ARs upstairs. I had them in the safe.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over, grabbed the pistol with the flashlight, grabbed the shotgun, cocked it. It's just a pump action, hopefully that deters. Give her the shotgun. Give her the pistol. I'm holding the shotgun and pointing down the stairs because we're upstairs. No one can get to our room where we're at unless they go up the stairs or crawl up the side of my fucking 2-story house, which is going to be a little harder to do.
Yeah. So
I'm pointing down the stairs and I'm just listening for any movement. Because usually if you heard that pump or something like that, usually hear skedaddling if there was any intruders, if they had a brain, not on drugs or something. So I'm just listening. I don't hear anything. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And all of a sudden, my kid's door is open to like their playroom. They don't have any curtains on or anything like that. And I see a flash come from that room. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, babe, point your gun down here. So I gave her the shotgun. I took the pistol with the flashlight and I went into that room because I was like, is there someone in this fucking room? So I cleared the room and then I saw another flash and it came from outside. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden I hear it. Boom, thunder.
That's hilarious.
So thunder roused my wife and I up from asleep. And then I saw flash. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And then
not too long ago.
But at least we were kind of prepared on what to do.
Not too long ago, me and Katie, we just laid down to go to bed. We hear this horrible crash on 3rd Street. And she's like, should you go check that? I said, no, I'm going to go to sleep. That wasn't in our yard. Not our problem.
Yeah.
And come to find out that a drunk driver drove down 3rd. They've just done new curbs and rock stuff. And she hopped the curb, drove over those rocks. I had to tear the hell out of that car. I didn't see the car. It was gone.
Shit.
There was video of it on our neighbor's security cameras.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Because if I think anything's in my yard, I live in a duplex.
You live on the backside.
Right, but I live in a duplex that is lengthway from the road.
Mm-hmm.
So in my yard is pretty obvious.
Yeah, if someone's going to your house,
Yeah.
because they're there.
Right.
Because they'd have to go past
we do have
your neighbors.
the people that live in the trailer, or in the trailer court people. They that live in the apartments behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the other day, Katie called me at the store and she was found another crack pipe in our backyard. They throw shit over the fence.
Yeah.
I want to strangle them.
Yeah. I wish that shit would just go away. I have no problem with people, having a beer every once in a while or even smoking a little weed, sure. But the crack problem, fentanyl problem, and all that shit.
Dude, have you heard of Trank? Have you heard of Trank?
Trank? What the fuck is that?
Trank is a horse tranquilizer mixed with fentanyl.
Oh.
And this stuff is terrible. Like,
fuck your life up.
They're zombies. And me and my dad have been watching and reading stuff about them for about the last year over in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't really heard anything about it on big news.
Right.
Now I'm starting to hear about it all across the country on big news. And they're basically zombies. You see people sitting on a step. I can't even sit like this. They're sitting on a step and their head is at their feet.
Yeah.
Over in Seattle, in the past, there's been reports of people pulling their hands out of gloves and leaving appendages. It just rots off.
Yeah.
Feet and boots. This stuff is terrible.
Ugh.
I don't know what they're trying to escape that is so bad.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
But that stuff is nasty.
They need help. They don't need to be... Well, and then you got places like Seattle and shit like that where they just give them the stuff to do it.
I took a neighbor kid, 3 years ago. Nathan was 4. So yeah, 3 years ago. And the little neighbor boy, the same age, over to go to a dinosaur deal that was over in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And when we left it, we walked. Katie is from the area.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this restaurant's close. We can walk there. Mile and a half later. I'm like, you don't know what close means, honey.
Yeah.
But to get us off the main road, because the main road, kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to really be on the main road. So going back, I popped off the main road onto a side street.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing the area. It was bum row. So it was next to a dump.
Yeah. And
there was cars and stuff that are homeless.
Yeah.
Just tons of it. And I looked down at my son. Katie had Elwin, the little boy from next door, and I was holding Nathan's hand. And I go, Nathan, if for any reason I shove you at your mother, I'm going to have shoved you harder than you've ever been shoved in your life. Mm-hmm. You're going to go down.
Yeah.
I need you to shut up, get up, and go to your mother.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't know what's around us. I don't know what can come out at us. And if something pops up, I need to push you away from me so I can defend you as fast as I can. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
Well, luckily, he didn't have to experience that.
No, nobody. One guy looked at us funny. And it was crazy. I'm walking. There was a guy sleeping in a Stingray Corvette.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could sell that car and live fine for a little while.
Yeah.
That car's worth a bunch of money.
Jeez. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm on a Facebook page called Seattle Looks Like Shit, SLLS. And they always are, there's SLLS users. Obviously, there's a lot of people in Seattle. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people on that page from Seattle or Washington in general. And they post pictures, videos, and whatnot of their experiences in Seattle, proving essentially that Seattle is just a shithole. Seattle itself as a city is a marvel. It's cool how humans could build something so extravagant and so cool and so like just the way it is. But the people there and the enabling of the drug use and all the shit.
There's heroin dens.
It's just
state-run, city-run heroin dens.
Yeah, and it's disgusting.
That was one of the things that impressed me when I went to Mexico on the cruise ship. One of the towns I went to, of course, it's a port town. Mm-hmm. It's a tourist trap. So, of course, it's nicer than other towns. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't that it was nice. It was that it was clean.
Right.
Like, very clean. I mean, honestly, it just felt like I was in downtown Yakima without the dirt.
Yeah.
And without the garbage and stuff.
Right.
It was, or I could also, because the dollar to the pesos pretty significant.
Yeah.
I drank tequila and ate tacos till I almost burst for like $15.
Jeez.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Do you have to like exchange it into pesos, or do you just give them cash?
You should know the exchange rate because some places would surely take advantage of you.
They're like, oh yeah, it's about $60 US.
Yeah.
It's like that's like 10 million there.
No, they would make change for you.
Yeah.
But I know what the exchange rate was at the time, so
yeah,
I made sure I got proper change back.
Yeah. And nowadays, especially with like your phones and stuff, you can just look it up or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But I'm assuming if you're like in a travel, like on a cruise or something like that, they probably tell you like, hey.
When we were in the Cayman Islands, I was like, what's the exchange rate here? I don't know what the exchange rate is.
Yeah. You don't know if you're overpaying, underpaying, whatever.
Right. I had turtle stew.
Oh.
In the Cayman Islands. That was really good.
Turtle stew.
Yeah, I recommend it. Katie couldn't eat it because it's a turtle.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Not all turtles are cute.
I'm like, I'm a dude. That cute don't matter to me. I'll eat it.
I'll eat Bambi.
I'll eat your cat. I don't care.
I'll eat a Bambi. I don't give a shit. I killed the mom and the dad and the Bambi.
when I was hunting in Montana, it was during a conservation hunt, so everything we shot was either a fawn or a doe.
Mm-hmm.
No bucks. So I killed Bambi I killed Bambi's mom and Bambi's sister and brother, and not brother because I wasn't able to shoot guys, but
all the fawns.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Killed a lot of deer that week. A lot. Because it was during a conservation hunt in Montana, and we were over there with my cousin, and they were residents. Residents got 8 tags apiece, and there was 5 of them, and 3 of us that got 1 tag apiece.
So it's what, potentially 40.
I think in a
40
week,
something.
I think in a week we butchered 25, 26 deer.
Yummy.
It's amazing. And the greatest part about it is the guy we were staying with was a meat cutter. He had a meat house.
So he just...
I don't even want to hunt here anymore.
Yeah.
It's too much work.
Yeah.
I don't have a house to take it back to and hang it in a cooler and... No, it's a lot of work here. I don't hunt anymore.
I know some guys will hunt, they'll get their deer and then they'll take it to a meat processing place.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no point in that.
I don't like doing that. Well, because they don't care how they cut it.
Yeah.
And I like cutting all the
They
tendons.
do it quick.
I cut all the tendons and everything out of it. So I don't know. It's like the way it tastes better.
Yeah.
I have a guy that usually brings me deer and elk meat every year at the store. He gets rid of his old stuff and gives me his old stuff, put his new stuff in the freezer.
Yeah, just rotate it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I do want to do before I die is do that helicopter hunt in Texas.
Pigs.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
I get it.
Just roll around in a helicopter. And
talking about that, I've been having a want to build a 458 SOCOM.
Yeah?
Yeah, and a short barrel, like a short barrel rifle.
Sick.
A 458 SOCOM. I really wish this stupid state I live in would let me have an SBS. Because I really think my Benelli M4 should be a 14.5 inch 12 gauge, not a 18.5 inch 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Can't fill out paperwork for that?
The state of Washington does not let us possess SBSs.
Even what if you can't even be grandfathered in if you already owned it?
I don't know about that, but
I would assume you couldn't, because you'd have to get rid of it.
I mean, if you already owned it before that law became a thing, sure.
I would assume.
But I don't know how. There's no way for me to get one.
Unless you somehow got it in Idaho and brought it back over and no one knew about it.
Yeah.
Or if you chopped it yourself and no one knew about it.
The problem with chopping Benelli M4s is the way the piston system works.
Mm-hmm.
It's attached to the barrel.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd have to be able to get in there and adjust the gas system, and there's no good way to do that.
Unless you're a gunsmith or something.
Yeah, I'm not a gunsmith.
And obviously no gunsmiths around here would do it.
And a freaking 14.5 inch barrel for a Benelli M4 is like $1,000.
Yeah.
It's almost as much as the damn gun is complete. That's my favorite shotgun. It's awesome.
Yeah. Never shot a Benelli.
They're soft.
Are they?
Yeah, actually, they're inertia.
That one's pretty soft.
Yeah.
The SX4 is pretty soft.
Those are nice shotguns.
Yeah. It was like $900.
Mm-hmm.
almost 900. I think it was 850 or 8.
Yeah, my cousin Bobby and her husband use those.
That's my wife's gun.
Yeah, as you said.
Mine was 350. Mine's a Mossberg 835.
Yeah.
It's pump. It's the
Magnum shotgun.
Yeah, the overboard 10 gauge barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's supposed to help with recoil.
Right.
A little bit, but it still hurts when you're shooting 3.5-inch BB. You're shooting 3.5-inch BB, and you're just first thing in the morning. You're like, boom! Oh, that fucking woke me up. Better than a cup of coffee.
Well, I should probably go eat.
Oh yeah, it's getting late. But anyways,
I'll be back.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Do you want to plug anything before we go? Business,
sure.
YouTube videos, fucking.
Once again, I own Gimme Guns here in Selah. I'm your cheapest transfer location in the Yakima area. I do transfers for $25. If you're law enforcement, Leo, veteran or current military, I do it for $15. And of course, the state charges a fee of $18. I have to click that too. But yeah, I'm the cheapest transfer rate in our area. I'll also order anything you want that I can legally give to you. And I have really good prices. I don't mark stuff up much. And if you're law enforcement, current duty for duty purposes, I can get you standard capacity magazines. It's perfectly legal for me to sell them to you as long as they're for duty.
Yeah. Yeah, I've bought things from Chuck, and he's a good guy. He's got good fair prices. He'll order stuff for you if he doesn't have it. And he works directly with the Selah PD. I mean, they're right next door with each other. So he's just overall good guy. I've transferred guns through him, and yeah, it's quick, painless, and very inexpensive compared to some places. It's $50 to $60 a gun. So, what's your hours?
10 to 6 Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 3 on Saturdays.
Boom, there you go, baby. So, all right, Chuck. Well, this is fun, man.
Yeah.
Anything else before we go?
Not that I can think of.
All right, you better get home to your wife. Get
I'm
some
boring.
Food. All right, thanks for coming on, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, bud. Thank you.